Busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom fighters. Good morning, Kenny Williams.
Good morning, Vic Porcelli. How are you, sir?
Good. Uneventful weekend, huh?
Oh, yeah. We'll find something to talk about.
Nothing going on whatsoever. Big show. Ken put it together, man. Ken was like inside my head this weekend because I'm thinking, yeah, all right, we should do that. Oh, there it was. And then we should, oh, yeah, there it was. So we'll start with Rob Bluey from the Daily Signal and the Heritage Foundation. That's crap at 9:25. Bill D'Agostino, senior research analyst at NewsBusters. Boy, there's so much to talk about there. Karen Kataline. And then, hold on, my fingers are okay. So I'm thinking about the whole thing Saturday night. And the Secret Service guy that got hit by the bullet and it was stopped by the vest, right?
Right.
I immediately thought of Michael Letts. Clearly so did you.
Right.
And here he comes at 11:05. I'm sorry. I should have said at 10:25, it's all Ken. Okay? He's got some great thoughts. He gave me a little preview of it. So 10:25 is all going to be about you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks, Vic.
Bet, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to go home.
No, you're not.
Oh. Doug Blair, chat box. Who's doing the Pledge of Allegiance, Kenny?
How about from Red State? Bachi.
Oh, I love Bonchi. Go ahead, buddy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Holy cow. Ben Shapiro called, asked them to slow down a little bit.
He actually was the first person to beat your wife out in timing.
She's still second, though, right?
Second, yeah.
Okay.
A good second, too.
All right, Ken, so here we are talking about the Secret Service again, right?
Yeah.
Butler, Pennsylvania was a completely different leadership at Secret Service. Now, supposedly, the right guy's in there, being the director of Secret Service, and somehow this guy checks into the hotel with guns and knives, and nobody says anything, that nothing going on, right? Then he was staying at the hotel. It's not like he came from, the Quality Inn down the street.
Right.
He was staying at the Hilton, and he brings all these guns down, runs through the macronometer, or whatever the hell that thing's called. There was a Secret Service guy there that should have tackled him football style, right? Just jump at his knees, right, and take him down.
Yeah.
The guy wasn't even looking at who's coming. He was chatting, This stuff pisses me off.
Yeah, even in his manifesto that the potential shooter, well, actually the shooter,
Yep.
he even said how bad the Secret Service was.
Great. All right, let's see what Bluey has to say about it. Good morning, Rob Bluey.
It's a beautiful day in Washington, D.C.
It's a busy Monday after a busy weekend. I'll tell you, this president never slows down, does he?
From the Heritage Foundation, of course, and president and executive editor of the Daily Signal.
There is going to be no shortage of news today.
Rob.
Good morning, Rob Bluey. How are you?
Good morning, Vic. It is, I agree with everything you just said there in the intro, and we had 4 people in the room from the Daily Signal, including your friend Tony Kinnett, and they described a scene that was quite chaotic, traumatic, and certainly some second guessing going on today about the Secret Service and why the president was allowed to be in this hotel with a lax security that apparently existed.
And not to mention its track record, right? Reagan was shot at that hotel, too, in 1981.
And our own Stel Ponticus on one of the threads that we have in texting, Rob, he said, yeah, that was the hotel that President Reagan was shot at.
What the hell, man? What the hell?
That's right. Well, first of all, I mean, it is a hotel, as you indicated, where anybody could reserve a room and check in and do so without having to go through any sort of metal detectors, which is one of the reasons why he was able to, Cole Allen, I'm talking about now, was able to bring the weapons that he did. And then when it comes to, I talked to my colleagues who were there, and Keith Koffler wrote a piece for the Daily Signal today about his experience from being inside the room. He said that, there were 2,600 people. I think that the Secret Service was probably feeling overwhelmed. There's always a sense of people of impatience and wanting to get to your seat, and not necessarily the level of scrutiny that would exist at, say, the Republican or Democrat National Convention, where there's a secure perimeter. You have to go through an extensive check to get in. There just wasn't that level. And that's why you hear the president saying, we need to, if we're going to do events like this, we need to hold them in the ballroom. And there's a move afoot in Congress this week after weeks, if not months, of getting pummeled from Democrats in the news media about this ballroom. I think a very realization that this is a good idea. And Donald Trump was actually onto something months ago when he decided that this was what was needed.
It was prophetic is what it was, because he talked about the ballroom being secure and everything.
He did, yeah.
When they started the construction. All right. So, again, I think, Rob, we're talking about, in certain cases, we're talking about Butler all over again, right? Because in Butler, when President Trump was shot, the Secret Service was on him in seconds, right? Hiding him and getting him off the stage. So we were like, okay, those guys were good. But what about the perimeter? What about that kid Crooks being way too close to the perimeter? So that was like advanced planning, right? So the advanced planning for this, what are those things called? Magnetometers, whatever they're called. Was that thing that the Secret Service guy was leaning on? Because what's wrong with the ones like at the airport? So maybe he might trip
Right.
going in or knock his head in the thing.
Yeah.
All he did was run past it. So it was like the planning, and the guys in the ballroom, I think, acted great. That one agent, Rob, that just jumped up and stood right in front of Donald Trump. And if you're going to shoot Donald Trump, guess what? You're going to have to shoot me too. I really like that a lot.
Oh, yes, I absolutely, and I certainly praise the Secret Service for their courage and bravery. And in the moment, they clearly, when there was an active threat, moved swiftly, not only to protect the president, but the vice president and other members of the cabinet. I've heard people describe at some tables, the cabinet members were seated with members of the media, and they said, as everyone ducked under the tables to take cover, the Secret Service swept in and within seconds had everybody, in a safe place. And so absolutely, Vic, you're correct that in those situations, they do put their own lives on the line to protect those who are serving in government. But it's the advanced planning, which you raised, and some of the other issues and lingering questions that we have today about how somebody could penetrate as far as they did and get within a few steps of being in a position to take a shot. There's also questions about the marksmanship of the Secret Service. I think on the one hand, Cole Allen is alive. Maybe they'll be able to decipher and ask him questions, or you couldn't do that with Thomas Crooks, right? But certainly not a great reputation and some cleanup work that the Secret Service still needs to do. Republicans are trying to remind the American people that Democrats were the ones that have not prolonged the longest government shutdown in history, which affects the Department of Homeland Security. And so I think that there are a number of things. I really was glad to hear that President Trump used it as a moment to talk about how incidents like this do bring people together, even bitter enemies like the Republicans and the Democrats who were there together. And I'm hoping that can extend this week, because in Congress you have a situation where they're going to attempt to finally fund this department, of which the Secret Service is a part, that the Democrats have now dragged on for over 60 days.
All right, I want to talk about a few other things here regarding the whole night. First of all, there were three. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm such an idiot. There are three guys that were there last night that when everything went down, their first and only response was to protect their wives, right?
Yeah.
One of them was Stephen Miller, who had his arms around his wife as they're walking out. So if anybody was going to shoot, they was going to hit him first. Pete Hegseth had a different stance, but he was right behind his wife, surveying in a military way, right, the surroundings to see what was going to happen. And President Trump, who, when they told him to get down, he made sure he not fell on top of, but got on top of Melania.
Mm-hmm.
So these three guys, they all protected their wives, what men are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it's absolutely what they are supposed to do, and I was glad to see that as well, Vic. Certainly, in a situation like this where you don't necessarily know where the active shooter is, and if it's one person or there's multiple, there's a sense of fear going through. So that is the natural thing that I think in our society too often gets discarded today, but I'm glad to see that these men did stand up. I'll also say that, for all of the reporters who were in the room, they themselves, springing into action. You may disagree with their politics or their coverage of the president, but certainly, if there was an incident similar to Butler, right? Not so much the situation in Florida, where there was the second assassination attempt, but you had a lot of reporters on the scene doing live coverage, really unsure of what was going to ultimately play out. So Vic, I've been to that dinner before. It's been a number of years, 9 years since I last attended, and for the 4 Daily Signal staff who were there, I know being in touch with them Saturday night, it was certainly a harrowing experience.
Well, we'll probably hear some really good stuff from the Daily Signal shortly too, right, Rob?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, when you talk to Tony, I mean, you make sure you get the behind the scenes perspective from his account, and certainly it's one of those things where after the 2017 dinner, the White House Correspondents Association took action to downgrade our status. And then later on, as both of you know, Joe Biden revoked our press credentials. And so we could have gone last year. We chose not to. We decided, because the president was attending and so many members of the cabinet, that we would make our return this year. But, for many times, they've kept conservatives out of this dinner. And I think that was one of the other things that everybody was anticipating. They wanted to see Donald Trump use self-deprecating humor and how he would spend the evening with the press. Certainly the time that he was in the room, he seemed to be having a great time and getting along very well with the president of the Correspondents Association, who happens to be the White House reporter for CBS.
Whose name is what? I can't say her name. Ouija Jang, something like that?
Your guess is probably better.
That's what
than
we'll go with.
That's pretty close.
We'll
Vic,
go with
actually,
Ouija. Now, during the opening speech before the shots, right? She was actually pretty gracious to President Trump. After the shots, she was very gracious about it being canceled. The president wanted to continue. Show must go on. And in the briefing room, President Trump was incredibly gracious to her, and those two have gone at it, because she was the one, when she mentioned the COVID virus, he said it came from China. And she goes, "Are you saying that because I'm Chinese? Is that why you're saying that?"
Right.
So they've gone at it. But it was all pretty gracious. And I think he extended a super-duper olive branch in the briefing room after the shooting.
Yes. Well, and look, I mean, if you're the president, and I saw his comments to, I believe it was Nora O'Donnell, on NBC, right? I mean, this is the third time that he's faced an assassination attempt, and I think that the president, recognizes his place in history and the fact that by doing the job, I mean, there's an inherent risk with it. So I was glad that he came out Saturday night. I think that was reassuring. I know he wanted to continue the dinner. I think it was probably the best move, given the uncertainty and the lack,
Yes.
and everything else that was going on at the hotel, that he did not return and deliver his speech as planned. And we'll ultimately see where this goes. I certainly hope, guys, that this uproar over the ballroom, and I was on CNN. I made a trip to New York to do Abby Phillips' show on Friday night, and again, they were obsessing about the ballroom both on Friday and Saturday before this. I'm hoping that people finally recognize the importance of having a secure location for our president and future presidents. Not just about Donald Trump. This is about everybody who's going to follow him too.
Yeah, for a ballroom. I mean, that's as simple as it gets. But you know what, Rob? The CNN anchor, I don't know who she was on the weekend when this first was panning out. She made the comment, and it was just such a short thing, but this is where I think we're probably going to be faced with them going back to the way they were in the narrative. But she said, well, I think that this guy was probably after the press.
No, yeah.
Why would you even say that when you don't even know? It was just happening right then.
Oh, well, exactly. Well, so I know I should also caveat my earlier comment, because for as much as I said I admired the press who immediately after the shooting sprang into action and helped, bring us what was really going on from the scene, there were some of those quick takes And there was another CNN person that reported that the shooter was dead and got that wrong. And
Right.
so, yeah, there were certainly some great moments, and then there were some moments that will probably go down in history and that being one of them, Ken, that's going to be looked at differently, because you don't want to ever make a speculative comment like that. And now that we know that we have the manifesto, I mean, clearly this was an assassination attempt.
Okay, so we're all actually out of time, but I just want to throw a couple of things in here. Norah O'Donnell, it was CBS on 60 Minutes last night, when she read from the guy's manifesto and said, I no longer support, I don't support this rapist and sex offender. And Donald Trump was like, why would you read that? You're a terrible person. This is a terrible network. You're a terrible person. Let's go. Let's finish the interview. He was so pissed that she said those words about him, whether it was her words or not.
Yeah, well, and granted, are you surprised, Vic? I mean, I would be frustrated too if I was in the president's position like that.
Of course. Right. All right. The other thing is, guess who said, drop the TDS and build the ballroom? Anybody want to guess? It's a senator from Pennsylvania, John Fetterman. He's smarter than he's on our side more than half the senators. All right.
Well, Tony ran into him at the airport, so when you do talk to Tony this week, make sure you ask Tony about his experience with Senator Fetterman.
We certainly will. All right, Rob. I was hoping.
Good night, everybody.
There he is. So, Rob, thanks. We'll talk to Tony about this. I actually sent you a little private thing, DM they call it, on X over the weekend. You never answered. It's like, are you mad at me, or what's your what's your problem?
Take a look now. Thank you. I'm terrible with direct messages. Thank you for telling me, Vic.
I told him, Rob, some people aren't as aggressive on that as he is.
But it's me. It's
Just
me.
Text me.
Thanks, Rob, so much.
Guys.
All right.
Okay.
See you, Rob.
Rob Bluey, president and executive editor of the Daily Signal, and he's with the Heritage Foundation. Boy, it's a conversation with Ken. It's going to be fun on Thursday.
Lights out, buddy.
You know, Ken, I apologize for something. Last night, I asked my wife, do you know where the blood pressure cup is? She was like, oh, I don't know. We never found it. But I wanted to bring it in and have you wear it all day, especially for 10:25 when you do your thing here. I'm sure your blood pressure is going to go up. I just wanted to see if this show is affecting your health, and I don't want that.
I think you know what? It's therapeutic, I think. I talked to Dr. Deloney when we had him on. He goes, man, that was so therapeutic getting on with you and Vic.
Oh, great.
And I'm like, well, I feel that way every day.
Right. All right, that's crap. Coming up next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Whoosh.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at NewstalkSTL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Court will take a 60-minute recess for lunch.
Your Honor, I respectfully request a full day's continuance to go over all this stuff. Now, look here. I don't like that kind of talk. Now, just stop it. It upsets me.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Olivia Soprano there. You know, I quoted a Soprano character over the weekend. I can't remember what it was or what the quote was, but I'm pretty sure I quoted the Sopranos over the weekend.
You did. We can't talk about it.
So, Roots Plus and our friend Stan Clement. This guy is so amazing because he's unbelievable at what he does, which is saving trees, right? And it's a true story. He was driving down the road. This guy was on a ladder up his tree, and he stopped. Stan stopped. And he said, can I hold the ladder for you or something? Can I help you out here? You know, smart business guy, but he also didn't want the guy to fall off the ladder and break his head, right? So they had a conversation, and Stan, saved his tree.
Well, check this out. So Friday, I set up to have him come over to our house. He came over on Sunday, and they looked at everything. We set up a plan, and he's going to come in and talk to my tree, make sure it's okay. He's going to clean up the deadwoods that are involved, and he's also going to help me with the yard itself. As we're walking up the driveway, my neighbors were doing their planting and stuff, so he gave them some samples. It was really cool.
He's unbelievable. Stan Clement, Roots Plus. Have him come to your house, check out your trees, save your trees. If you can't fix it, the money you went towards saving it will go towards removing it. It's just that simple. RootsPlusLLC.com. RootsPlusLLC.com.
This is 101.9 and 94.1.
I have to tell you, if this is how they're going to behave, I'm rethinking my position.
News Talk STL.
Producer Joey V from the Tim Jones and Chris Arp Show here, reminding you, don't waste a buck on movies that suck. Tune in to Joey V's Movies Fridays at 5:45 for reviews you can trust. Brought to you by Harry J's Steakhouse in Moscow Mills.
You never know who you'll run into at Sugar Creek Golf Course. Stop by the News Talk VIP Lounge inside the Sugar Creek Clubhouse and catch familiar faces like Jamie Allman, Mike Ferguson, Tim Jones, Nick Schroer, and more from the News Talk STL team. Grab a cold drink, say hello, and take in the atmosphere. And before you leave, swing by the Pro Shop to pick up your official News Talk STL polo. The Sugar Creek Pro Shop is the only place you can get one. It's all happening at Sugar Creek, so don't miss it.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Wherever I'm at, home, car, wherever.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Just the convenience on the phone.
Streaming live on the mobile app.
Love the new app.
And listen anytime.
Everywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah, baby.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Whoosh.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
What's the matter, Ken? I was turning you on a little bit too much there.
A little crazy.
Cut off my microphone. How you doing, baby?
Hi.
Hey, baby. Bill D'Agostino's coming up in the next break. He's from the Media Research Center, isn't he?
Yes.
NewsBusters and all those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Karen Kataline. Ken gets the entire 1025 break. It's all about Ken Williams. Michael Letts, Doug Blair, chat box. Right now, though, it's time for everybody's favorite game show. That's crap!
This is Jim Modulin speaking for That's Crap. Hey, Mark Goodson, Bill Todman, Radio.
That was the outro.
Welcome to That's Crap. It's the game where we find out if it's the truth or if that's crap. Here's the host of That's Crap, Vic Porcelli.
Thank you, Jim Modulin. Good morning, studio audience. Oh, my God. On their feet, signs, we love Ken. We love Ken. Okay, That's Crap, simple game. All you got to do is tell if it's the truth or if that's crap. You're playing for a copy of our home game. Our contestant today is California Representative Ted Lieu, who thinks that this is unrelated to the game here, okay? He thinks he can just say anything he wants with no accountability whatsoever. And he does it all the time.
Kind of like Hakeem Jeffries in those. They all kind of do the same thing, don't
Exactly right. Exactly. We just hear from Hakeem Jeffries more because he's the minority leader in the House. But Ted Lieu does his share of, crap. I'm not saying this is.
No,
I'm not saying.
we don't want to prejudge.
Don't want to prejudge.
Play the game correctly.
So you're playing for a copy of our home game, Ted. Ken, put 15 seconds on the clock. Representative Lieu, good luck.
Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children.
All I'm begging for, all I ever ask, and anybody who brings this up, I say the same exact damn thing. Prove it. Give me the examples. Let's find the examples. If he's a child predator, let's arrest the guy. Prove it, but shut up until you can prove it.
So are you jumping the gun here? I'm just asking. If you are, yes. If you're not, no. It's okay.
Maybe
it's
a little.
Okay. It's okay.
Maybe.
So, allegations by who? That's the question too. I think that I'm not a lawyer, okay, but we all know what hearsay is, right?
Yeah.
If I'm the defendant or if I'm a witness for the defendant, and you ask me a question, did you see Mr. Porcelli with the gun shooting that guy in the head? Not that happened. I just
right.
Hypothetically, and I say, well, somebody told me that they saw him. I say, well, that's hearsay, right?
Yeah.
And I think everything about Donald Trump is hearsay from somebody.
All I want them to do is produce the evidence.
And they never do.
They never, ever do.
So, Ken, I guess you're saying that that's crap. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Sorry, Representative. That's crap. That was from February of this year. So, After a while, it just gets so old. Do you remember? You didn't. Living in New York, there was a time when John Gotti was on the cover of the New York Post like every day.
I remember that actually.
And they called him the Teflon Don.
And he was all dressed up all the time. Yeah.
But he couldn't keep his mouth shut. That's the problem. A lot of these Dons who live a long time, they just keep their mouth shut. They're very introverted. They don't go out. They don't make a spectacle like Gotti did. But they call them the Teflon Don. And we can go ahead and call President Trump the Teflon Donald.
The Teflon Donald.
Right. So, and I don't say that because he squirms out of things that he did. Like E. Jean Carroll, for example, right?
Yeah.
Who said to Anderson Cooper, it's out there on the internet, I think rape is sexy, she said. And Anderson Cooper got all flustered and let's go to a commercial,
And then she started to hit on him.
Yes.
But right before he goes to...
Exactly.
And then he starts almost laughing.
Right.
We're going to go to a break now.
Right. Because keep in mind, in case you don't know, Anderson Cooper is gay. So I guess that's it. That's all the time we have for that scrap. Unless you got anything to add, Ken?
No.
Okay.
This is Jim Modulin speaking for That's Crap, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman radio production.
Thank you, Jim Modulin. This is Vic Porcelli saying, help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody. So it must be so sad and lonely to be a Democrat representative, senator, whatever, because they've tried everything, all these lies about President Trump, all of which we found out were lies, and we always joke that they sat in a big boardroom, right, and figured out the next plan, what they're going to say about him, and none of them ever come to light because none of them are true. But when you're a Democrat, that's all you have. Is made up lies, made up stories. I hate Trump. Elitist egocentrism. I hate Trump. Everyone must hate Trump. Chuck Schumer has elitist egocentrism when he said nobody likes ICE. Nobody wants
Nobody
ICE.
does, yeah. You made a great point there saying that they have nothing, and the truth eventually always comes out, Vic. Think about that for a second. Charlottesville. That was way back. Yeah. That was like at the very original part of his was he a president at that time? Yeah, I think he was.
17, yeah.
Yeah. So now we're finding out that that's all crap. We're finding out that the Southern Poverty Law Center was behind all of that. The person questioning President Trump at the time that he was taking questions was part of the plan to try and find something to get on Trump, and they found that, which it was nothing. But because if you sent something to me over the weekend, I think, that showed the whole clip of President Trump talking in Charlottesville. If you listen to the whole clip, everybody, then you understand exactly what he was talking about, and it had nothing to do with being a racist.
So then they
get
what do they do then, Ken? They get on the bandwagon. Everybody says that, right? Everybody says, he said, oh, great people on both sides. Same thing is going to happen with this thing on Saturday, okay? They're going to say that, I guarantee you, somebody's going to say the shooter was MAGA, and he was trying to shoot the press because he was MAGA and he was a Trump supporter, and he hates the press because Trump hates the press.
Well, I agree with you, but I don't think they'll do it anymore because of the manifesto that he had. But Vic, they tried that before anybody could even get a report out. This is the problem with the left: indoctrination, radicalization. This guy that tried to shoot and kill President Trump again, he was a smart person. He was not some lunatic. He was, of course, a lunatic. Anytime you do that, you're a lunatic. But he was indoctrinated. He was radicalized. By whom? Who could it have been possibly that did this, Vic? It was the Democrats. The Democrats did this. I know we say this all the time, you guys, but the Democrat Party hates this country. The leaders in the Democrat Party want one thing: power and control. That's it. They don't care what happens to you, me, Vic. They don't care what happens to anybody in this country. They just want the power.
You give the Democrats too much credit, Ken. You think because of this manifesto, somebody's not going to say that the shooter was MAGA? You don't think they're going to say that, even though the manifesto says that he hated Trump? Or every indication is that he hated Trump and he hated Republicans? Let's remember.
Oh, I heard people saying that. I heard people this weekend saying that this all happened because Trump wants a ballroom. I'm not kidding you.
It was staged. They're saying
It was staged,
right.
and he wants a ballroom, so he had to set this up to say, look, we have to have the events at the ballroom.
Now, Thomas Crooks, who shot President Trump in the ear, the narrative there is that was staged, and President Trump never got hit by a bullet, even though Carmine Compatore, is that his name? The fireman?
Yeah, Comparator, the firefighter.
He was killed.
Yeah, murdered.
Was
yes.
that staged? Did you think he really didn't die? They're so bad, Ken. It doesn't matter what the truth is. It doesn't matter that this manifesto came out. Everybody's still going to say, and everybody is saying that it's staged, especially all the social media experts.
And that's why I say, over time, these people, think about what's happening in our schools right now. And I know this sounds like a stretch, but Vic, they're being indoctrinated over periods of decades. This guy, a teacher, he was a teacher. He had an award. He was
Teacher of the Month.
He did all kinds of things. He did some intelligent work with video games and such. He was radicalized by the theories that they gave the left, the Democrats have said over this period of time to destroy the reputation of President Trump.
Yeah.
Well, when someone is labeled a Nazi, Hitler, he's a pedophile, he's a rapist. When all that's being put in front of you and you're convinced that you're a good guy, what are you going to do? Well, look what some of these lunatics are doing.
Yep.
That's what it's indoctrination, it's radicalization, and they've got to stop it.
Not gonna. Sorry.
And I don't want to hear any of the left saying, calm down, and we need to tone things down. No, you need to tone things down. We're done.
And
we are done.
This is not a both sides issue.
It's not.
Which is what Chuck Schumer tried to say, that this was a both sides issue.
No, and so many on the right are done. They're done, man.
I'm done. Yeah, baby. Love Unlimited Orchestra. I'm Barry White. Hey, if you don't miss the whole show. But the biggest thing is Ken, 1025, doing what he does best, talk about liberals. You're pretty good at that. All right,
Thanks,
coming
Vic.
up next, Bill D'Agostino from the Media Research Center. So many examples he'll bring out with us next on 1019 and 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Got it.
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Oh, mocking me.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. Vic and Ken. Ken's a cat. He plays saxophone. Vic owns a cat, and he has cat-like reflexes. The Vic Porcelli Show on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
On the next Larry Connor's USA.
The story behind the story when I truly thought that my prank was going to give my father a heart attack.
Larry Connor's USA.
Now weeknights 6 until 8
on News Talk STL.
What if Missouri eliminated its income tax entirely?
Find out how at the Road to Zero Income Tax Town Hall.
Hosted by News Talk STL's own Mike Ferguson.
Joined by Senator Nick Schroer and Representative Ben Keithley.
Come ready with your questions and get the facts on the plan to phase out Missouri's income tax for good.
Thursday, April 30th at the Lodge de Pere, presented by AFP Missouri and Mo Tax Relief Now.
RSVP today at afpmissouri.com. That's afpmissouri.com.
Springtime in St. Louis, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Mr. Rob Miller from Harvesttown Auto Body in St. Peters did. He called Rhino Shield. Rob, what was the thought process for going with Rhino Shield as a business owner?
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Rob, tell everyone how the experience was with Rhino Shield from start to finish.
The process that I liked was when you came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. Our building was really faded. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
Are your neighbors jealous?
I would be if I was them.
Thanks, Rob. Now it's time to call 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Genius.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Hey, this is Jim Florentine. You listen to Vic and Ken on the Vic Porcelli Show on 94.1 and 101.9 News Talk STL.
One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He is has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does.
That was President Trump after the shooting Saturday, saying that the officer was shot and saved by his bulletproof vest. We will probably hear that clip again when we bring in Michael Letts in the 11 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Because who knows, Ken? How do we know that the vest that guy wore wasn't provided to him by Invest USA, Michael Letts' organization?
Right,
How do we know? We don't know.
We don't know.
Could be.
But imagine the lives he's saving by doing what he's doing.
Exactly right. Okay. President Trump called the FBI, the Secret Service agent, to see if he was okay. That's pretty cool, right? For the president to call you.
Oh yeah.
Well, John Carl, through the years, has been a staunch enemy of President Trump. John Carl works for ABC.
Right.
And he had this to say because the president called him.
John, your phone rang early this morning?
Yeah, my phone rang shortly after 7 a.m. My landline, George, actually a number that few people call, and it was President Trump calling. He said at first he was calling to see if I was okay with what happened last night. Are you okay? And then he reiterated many of the things he said in his press conference last night, emphasizing the unity that he felt in that moment, that he felt at the dinner before the shooting and certainly after with the people who reached out to him. And he said absolutely, and he was quite firm about this, that dinner must be rescheduled. It must be rescheduled. He knows that I was a former president of the White House Correspondents Association and had worked with him on a dinner that never actually happened back during COVID. And he was saying, we've got to get this dinner back on. It has to happen.
What's the matter, George? Nothing to say about that? George Stephanopoulos?
No.
Nothing to say about how cool the president was to call a reporter who hates him from a network that hates him? Nothing to say?
Well, I was thinking about that because he mentioned that it was 7 a.m. President Trump was up late in the evening with staff and everybody talking about this, I guess probably working through some of the stuff. John's not the only person he called. So what time did this guy get up in the morning? I mean, just think about President Trump's day and what he does in any given day. He was up before 7 a.m., obviously. He didn't, wake up to the alarm and say, I'm going to call John. he could have wake
To-do list, call John Carl.
5:30, we don't know. But the man is up and he's ready for the time.
Yep.
He's ready, and they're waiting for the things to happen and take care of them.
And just the fact that he did it, I thought was pretty honorable, pretty noble.
I agree, yeah.
And, boy, George Stephanopoulos, you could just see his blood pressure going up. Somebody talking good about President Trump on his network. Oh, my goodness. I'm George Stephanopoulos. Brr, 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 brr. Sorry, that was the Sally noise. Brr, 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 brr. I didn't mean to do that.
Right.
I probably shouldn't do this now, but I want to do it anyway because I'll forget. So you remember Sally when I take her lips and go brr, 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 brr.
Right.
I was doing it to her the other night, and Jessica goes, why can't you just treat her like a regular dog? She thinks all dogs have to do that. Isn't that funny? Like Sally, when I'm doing brr, 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 do all dogs have to do this? Get their lips? So I just thought it was funny.
She puts Sally in a human
absolutely
situation. Caddy, my wife does the same exact thing. Yeah. I'm like, he doesn't care what you're doing right now, and she's like, oh no, he cares. He'll remember it. If I don't do it, then she goes, here's proof. She hands me this video of a cat. She follows this one particular cat. I can't remember his name, but it's like a celebrity. And now the owner, I guess, one time took him in the bed and took him upstairs. Well, the cat usually runs upstairs to go to bed, but because she did that,
that's it.
That he won't climb the stairs anymore. she has to carry him up in the bed. And I said, no. Eventually, if the cat wants to, he'll go up there without her.
Is this Phantom?
No. So
Phantom's a good cat, right?
Yeah, they're all good.
Okay.
But the thing is, she was showing me this video, and I'm like, see, they don't care about the human behavior thing, but you're putting them in that human situation.
She does that all the time. And, you know, she thinks all dogs have to do this. I thought that was such a funny line that, first of all, Phantom can think like a human and then think negatively, like, do all dogs have to do this, or is it just me? Right. Now, what you brought up about the cat, one of our cats, the patriarch, the Porcelli Pets, whose name is Pippin, Ken, your name's Ken, right?
Yeah.
This cat bitches from dawn till dusk, and even after dusk. That's all he does is bitch.
Just that weird whine.
Yeah. Well, when he's going to throw up, he sounds like you're dipping in. But he sits behind me on the couch, and if my hand is right there, he'll put his paw on my hand. Hey, scratch my head. Okay, God. Scratch his head, and then as soon as I let go, he puts his hand back on my hand, and I got to scratch. To the point where Jessica got me this blanket that's hot on one side, cold on the other side. I don't know the science behind it, but I had the cool side on me, and he's doing that. So finally, I do this all the time. I pulled the blanket up over my shoulder, and I said, no, I cut my arm off. I amputated my arm. It's gone.
It's gone.
Okay? And he stops because he's a cat. He doesn't know.
Right.
He doesn't see the hand there. Daddy must have lost his hand somehow. So, it's back. I'll scratch my head.
I read that, but see, that makes sense because I read this thing that cats feel like overnight when you're sleeping, when you wake up, they're excited because you're not dead.
Why? Why are they excited?
Because you're back. They think that when you go to sleep, they have this weird feeling that you're gone.
So you're back. So they're happy because they love you?
Probably not.
No.
Just to make sure that you have food.
You know how to open the can opener.
Right.
It's the only thing.
That's probably it.
Oh, my God. I don't know how to open the can. Thank God this
Right.
guy woke up. Now, dogs, of course, are different. Dogs will think that, oh, my God, he's dead. I love him. Cats don't love us. I'm convinced that cats do not love us, Ken.
Hey, Vic.
Yes, Ken.
Number 6, 7, and 8. I was wanting to talk about President Trump and how he handled everything last night, and then they got him. There was one thing. I guess you have to admit that the media was being a little cordial to President Trump in this time because he almost got killed again.
And I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Even though this morning on the Today Show, I was waiting for Gabe Gutierrez to say, and the president brought this on himself.
Right. Yeah.
Because he's such a dick.
They really didn't do that in the mainstream.
So you want to start with 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is President Trump. Oh, this is the 60 Minutes thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So Norah O'Donnell, it's amazing how she did the morning show, completely sucked on CBS. Then they said, oh, well, let's put this pretty girl on CBS Evening News. Total disaster, total ratings disaster. So now she's on 60 Minutes, where all the old farts go to die, right?
Right.
So she did the interview with him, and she pissed me off, and she was pissing the president off. But this is a different thing. Okay, so President Trump on 60 Minutes and with Norah O'Donnell.
The Secret Service agent, I spoke to him. He had a bulletproof vest on. Unbelievable.
He's okay.
Oh, he's 100%. Yeah, no, he was 100%. He didn't want to go to the hospital. He really didn't. They asked him to go, and he didn't want to go. He said, I don't need to go to the hospital. But he went because they asked him to go. I would have said to tell him not to. If he doesn't want to go, what do you force him to go for? Because then the press would say, oh, he was badly hurt. No, he didn't want to go to the hospital, and they forced him to go. And I'm not saying they're wrong, but I would have said, if he doesn't want to go, don't make him go.
And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but the way President Trump approaches things like that, he's like, put some dirt on it. You're okay.
Right. It's old school.
But they will say, let's just, precautions. And I understand why they would say that. Let's make sure that everything's okay with him. He didn't have any internal damage or anything like that. The guy, even though he said he was okay, he may not have been, but I understand it. But it's just the way he approaches these things that I really like. And this next thing proves.
Wait a minute. I want to stay on this.
I know.
So he was saying the guy didn't want to go to the hospital, but they took him anyway. That's how it happens in all the cop shows and cop movies, right? the big cop who does everything. Come on, I got to. No, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm fine. We have to take you, and they always take them.
Yeah.
So at least that's one thing that's real life about crime dramas.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm looking for a little ray of hope for humanity, and that's what I'm doing.
Right, that's what we all are doing.
So, Southern Poverty Law Center came up. Not by Nora O'Donnell.
No.
She wouldn't dare bring up the Southern Poverty Law Center.
And this is why I'm glad President Trump did it. He brought it up in a time where it was probably mainstream media time that he wouldn't have otherwise.
That's true. So this is cut number 2 of President Trump on 60 Minutes talking about Charlottesville.
I see these no kings, which are funded just like the Southern Law was funded. You saw all that. Southern Law is financing the KKK and lots of other radical, terrible groups. And then they go out and they say, oh, we've got to stop the KKK. And yet they give them hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars. It's a total scam run by the Democrats. It shows you that, like Charlottesville was all funded by the Southern Law. That was a Southern Law deal, too. And it was done to make me look bad, and it turned out to be a total fake. It basically was a rigged election. This was a part of the rigging of the election, and that's what you really should be doing. I mean, I hope one of your 60-minute episodes, which really hasn't changed very much from the last few years, I'm surprised, but one of those episodes should be on Southern Law and the fact that they spent millions and millions of dollars on absolute far right and just bad groups. And then they'd use those groups and they'd say, these are Republican groups and we're coming to your rescue. And they're the ones that have funded it, and they're the ones that keep them going.
I don't know if you caught it, but President Trump said some of these far right groups.
Yeah.
He's realistic, that there are far right groups out there. Trust me, there's far left groups out there. We see them in the streets with Antifa and the KKK and everything else. But at least he had the honesty to say that, but also saying that they're not Republicans. They're crazy, whacked out right-wing people.
Yeah, and that's more further proof that he has nothing to do with them.
Of course.
I mean, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because what they've done over the last 10, 12 years is just defame this. Well, 10 years. They've defamed him. Just the defamation goes so deep right now that people are thinking, oh, no, that's how he really is.
It's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. All right, so
this is very short.
Yeah, but I got something not funny, but something to say after it. It's all right. So President Trump talking about the No Kings rallies.
He had attended a No Kings protest in California.
No Kings. Yeah.
What did security tell you about what may have been his motives?
The reason you have people like that is you have people doing no kings. I'm not a king. What I am, if I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you.
Was he lying?
No. Guess who's coming to visit? Like within a month.
A king?
Yeah, King Charles.
Oh, okay.
What's the left going to do? Are they going to protest? No kings, not even Charles?
No.
What the hell?
Well, remember when they were the big quote unquote, which, by the way, what did it achieve? Nothing. They had this No Kings rally. They had the rally in the United States, but however, they had big parades in Great Britain
where they
of
have
No
a king.
Kings rally.
Unbelievable.
And I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell are you doing there?
So what are they going to do? They're so stuck because they're so stupid. No Kings rally. If we had a king, you wouldn't be allowed to go out and say no kings, right? That's the whole thing about being a king is you get to do. It's good to be the king, like Mel Brooks said.
Well, yeah. But I'm glad he made that statement. He said to her something that was probably sounded snarky to a lot of people. I wouldn't be doing this interview with you. Because he wouldn't have to if he was a king. If he was a king, he'd be saying no.
He'd shut him down.
Exactly right, Vic.
Yeah.
And so he can't be a king. When the Supreme Court does a ruling, which a lot of them are against him,
so
I'd say probably more with to be that was a bad statement because the Supreme Court actually ruled in his favor more times than not.
Good enough. So the 60 Minutes interview and also on 60 Minutes afterward, because all the left people, on social media, all those experts that we talk about all the time. Oh, Barry Weiss is just going to make CBS a right-wing channel.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And last night, because everything has to be Trump is bad, Norah O'Donnell was first. Second was Scott Pelley, who just looking at him and hearing makes my skin itch.
I just don't like him.
And he was talking to somebody who, it might have been Ben Sass, actually. I think it was Ben Sass. Remember Ben Sass, the senator from, I think, Minnesota?
Yeah, I remember him. I have a negative.
Yeah, he and Trump went at it all the time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he has pancreatic cancer now. So I'm sorry to hear that. I'm
sorry to hear that, yeah.
You sound very sympathetic.
No, I'm really sorry to hear that. I am. I don't like that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
So Scott Pelley's talking to him, and then he's going to say, so what about the Trump administration? What do you, and I'm like, what? The guy's dying of pancreatic cancer. Just ask him about his health. How's he doing? How you feeling?
Yeah.
You know? God, he is the worst. They are the worst. And Barry Weiss didn't stop Scott Pelley from saying that via editing out the question.
Right.
Because the question was there.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
Barry Weiss didn't make them edit anything. Right?
Correct.
Right. So shut up about it.
So Barry Weiss with CBS, you remember that what was her name? The person, the reporter that was favoring a conversation with Trump. She was up on the stage with him.
Weijia Jiang. I think.
Yes. Well, she was kind of, being middle of the road with President Trump in her remarks, and I think it might have had something to do, possibly, I don't know, but with the fact that Barry Weiss is running CBS now.
And
I don't know.
And she works for CBS.
Yeah.
Weijia Jiang.
Right.
All right, big wrestling match coming Tuesday, June 2nd. The Hammond Center for Free Enterprise and the St. Charles County Republican Central Committee debate with the candidates for St. Charles County Executive at the Scheidegger Center. Be sure you get all the information you need to get there at NewstalkSTL.com. And you never know, they might just wrestle.
Whoosh.
Hey, it's Susie Moore with a reminder that for 20 years, Harpo's Chesterfield has been the heart of West County's fun. With their award-winning patio, voted best in West County, and excellent sports bar atmosphere, Harpo's is your one-stop destination. The mouth-watering menu has made them famous throughout St. Louis. Plus, they've got great drink specials and the friendliest, most energetic staff around. Whether you're dining in or carrying out, Harpo's delivers fun, food, and drinks like no one else. Harpo's Chesterfield. Call 636-537-1970 or visit harposstl.com.
Yo, this is Vic. Vic for Vets is proudly honoring our veterans. Every Wednesday at 11:05, you'll hear about that day's honoree and their incredible service to our country.
Hi, it's Ken. You want to nominate a veteran? Send their name, service information, and story to me, Ken, at NewstalkSTL.com.
Brought to you by Heroes Care, Alamo Military Collectibles, Gemini Wealth Group, Michael's Funeral Home, and Freddie's Market.
Together, let's celebrate the heroes in our community, Vic for Vets, where honor meets gratitude.
What's the best way to get rid of a timeshare that you don't want? Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline. We're a group of attorneys that help customers legally exit their timeshares. It's an easy process. We guarantee results or you pay nothing. Exit your timeshare today. Call now.
800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. That's 800-524-1641.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Presidential security is under the microscope. It's being reviewed at the White House following Saturday evening's attack. The White House Correspondents' Dinner in D.C.
Chief of Staff Susie Wiles will hold a meeting this week with officials from the White House Operations Team, the Secret Service, and the Department of Homeland Security to discuss security protocol at events with the president. There are several large, high-profile events in the months ahead where Donald Trump is expected to participate. Among them, he's set to mark the nation's 250th anniversary, oversee the U.S. co-hosting the World Cup, and hold political rallies ahead of November's midterm elections. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The House reconvenes today, may vote on a bipartisan bill to fully fund the Department of Homeland Security, and that includes the Secret Service. Iran's latest peace proposal reportedly lacks one key ingredient sought by the U.S., that's a pledge by Tehran to give up its nuclear ambition.
Two officials with knowledge of the Iran proposal say Tehran also wants the U.S. to end
its blockade of the country as part of its proposal to lift its chokehold on the strait. Oil prices are rising after negotiations between the US and Iran stalled over the weekend, and a standoff in the strait remains despite a ceasefire. Iran's foreign minister is in Russia Monday to meet President Vladimir Putin as part of a trip that includes stops in Pakistan and Oman. Meanwhile, Pakistan's leaders are continuing to try to bridge significant gaps between the two countries to revive the talks. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Last night's powerful storm swept North Texas, left at least 2 people dead, and there's a good deal of property damage as well. Portions of Oklahoma were also hard hit by the storms. The Dow's down 114 points, NASDAQ off 53. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Health insurance rates are surging in America, leaving millions without affordable options. If you're sick of having paychecks eaten up by healthcare costs or dealing with mega corporations, then listen to this. Christians don't need to waste money on a broken system. That's why I want to tell you about Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's an alternative to traditional health insurance at half the cost. With CHM, fellow believers contribute monthly to help pay each other's medical bills. There's no enrollment period, so you can join anytime. And you aren't restricted to provider networks, so you choose the doctors and hospitals you want. It's that simple. CHM is not insurance. It's a ministry that puts faith into action. Feel the difference of financial support and biblical care from fellow believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Multiple rounds of rain and thunderstorms today, and yes, there is a significant risk of some severe storms, packing hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. Scattered storms around this morning, more to come from mid-afternoon into the evening. By bedtime tonight, this is all over. 83 for the high this afternoon, down to 54 for the low early Tuesday. Tuesday morning is going to be dry, but another chance of rain and storms Tuesday afternoon and evening, not nearly as strong as today's storms, up to 73 tomorrow. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right, good morning and welcome to hour number 2. Ken Williams with another home run today, as he always does. Great stuff, Kenny. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, Vic.
And, at 10:25, you want to hear Ken? You want to hear Ken with both guns blazing, his blood pressure going up to 220 over 125? Be here at 10:25 because he's going to go nuts, right? You're just going to go crazy?
I have a couple things to get off my chest.
Is that right?
But to explain them, talk about them. I think everybody has concerns about the same thing, so.
Yeah. And every time something like this happens, love to get the take of the great and talented Karen Kataline.
The one and only Karen Kataline.
Did you know that I'm married to a trucker? I feel like using a Yiddish word, famished. Toiling in front of my computer I am. They're just too dumb to lie. He has the effect of 6 shots of scotch.
Good morning, Karen Kataline.
Well, good morning, Vic and Ken. Did you have a great weekend?
I did, Karen.
Yeah, I mean, tough watching somebody else trying to kill our president. That's never fun, right?
Yeah, who cares, right?
Yeah.
We care a heck of a lot, and I was telling Ken I was curious to see how you would open your show because of it. Because,
What, at 9 o'clock? You were listening at 9 o'clock?
I was.
Oh, if I'd known, I would have blown you a kiss if I'd known you were listening.
Well, thanks. We appreciate it, Karen.
And by the way, thanks for the kind words on X over the weekend.
Oh, you are very welcome. And I hate when I do typos, but I can't change it because then it erases all the people who commented.
Oh.
So I can't, when I see a typo, I go, drat darn.
That happened.
I didn't even notice it.
But you guys do deserve the kudos because just at the time, if people didn't know, that the day before Aaron Wexler was featured on the opener of our little segment, that next day, Jesse had her on his show.
That's because they listen to us and steal our stuff.
Right.
And I said, coincidence? I think not.
Well,
Now-
you get the credit for that. You turned me on to her.
Well, it was great. I'm happy to do that, and I'm happy that you listen. Now, the thing I'm looking forward to is she's perfect for Gutfeld.
Yes.
Because he loves comedians.
Yeah.
And she's a comedian commentator. So I'm hoping. I mean, I haven't watched a ton of her stuff, but she's such a unicorn like me that's why I take notice of these things. So, you get many, many kudos on that. And so can I just say what's on my mind that I think might be a bit of a different take? I mean, we're all feeling, anybody who has a heart and a soul and a brain, when we heard that, we were all sitting in our chairs, bracing ourselves for hostility geared towards our president, whom we love and many people believe we don't even deserve, and that's true. To see what happened, and our hearts were in our mouth as we watched the same way we did with the wonderful Charlie Kirk. It was terrifying. It was scary until we knew the president and his cabinet were okay. And it's an unfolding story. But if you would indulge me a little,
well,
go ahead.
I never said yes, you can, but that's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Don't worry about me. I'll be fine.
No, I was waiting for you to ask me, but I jumped right in.
Yeah, you certainly did, but that's fine. Only you can do that. Not every guest does that. Well, you're not even a guest.
very
You're part of the family. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I appreciate that so much. Well, I don't need to take the whole segment to say this, but I did post something that I thought was important, and you probably would ask me about it anyway, which is this wonderful Matt Van Swol wrote a profound thing that many of us were feeling. All I know is that I'm on this side that doesn't kill anyone, nor celebrates the killing of anyone, nor fantasizes about the killing of anyone just for winning an election. And it occurred to me that too often we look at these stories in vacuums and we don't connect the dots. Now, you guys do. I try to, because I look at the stories that we're all watching simultaneously. And here's two stories that to me are intimately connected. And that is, right before this happened, we were watching the story of the Southern Poverty Law Center and how they had to manufacture hate and bigotry in order to raise money off of it. And what do they always do to us and to everyone when we say the left is the one that's doing this? The left is filled with hate. The left is inciting murder and violence and then celebrating it. And what they want us to think is that everybody does it. In my opinion, you can look at the Southern Poverty Law Center and see why they felt they have the need to manufacture hate attributed to the right so that they can take the heat off themselves and make it look like it's across the board and there's parity. So I wrote, we also know the side that incites hate and murder of their political opponents cannot create the illusion of parity without manufacturing it. I'm done.
I saw that post on X before you redid it. What do you say? Retweet, reposted it. And I was like, this guy is right on the money, because the left wants to be the self-righteous ones. We're the good people. We're on the good side of every issue. And really, they can't wait for President Trump to drop dead.
It's horrific, and what is even more diabolical, if I could use that word, is that they wrap their vicious hatred and celebration of murder and hysteria and inciting violence in this country, they wrap it up as being morally superior and virtue signaling. Anytime they say, well, it's for, we're just more compassionate. You know how that is when they say, let me be honest with you. And I always say, well, what were you being before?
Right, yeah.
Right.
So, think if they protesteth too much that they have to tell us how compassionate and caring they are. The fact of the matter, it is exactly the opposite. They're the racists, they're the haters, and it is not across the board. I can't stand it when liberals, Democrats who don't understand say, well, everybody does it. Why? Because the left has created this false narrative that Republicans are hateful bigots who are just as bad as what they do. No, we are not. And Matt Van Swal said so clearly and unabashedly. So I'm following him.
I'm going to follow him. If I'm not following him, I'm following him. But what you're saying, the hate that people put on social media, this guy that we're going to play for you, school teacher in Ohio.
I wake up each morning hoping he has died. I go to bed each night hoping by the time I get up in the morning, he has died. I'm fully convinced that we can't even begin to start fixing any of our problems until he has died. For the love of all things good, just die.
See? For the love of all things good. He thinks that message was good, that he's good, that the left is
so
good.
So painful. Right before I came on, I saw what Melania Trump had posted to call out Jimmy Kimmel. And I didn't even know what Jimmy Kimmel said because I usually get it secondhand. And that's the kind of outrage that we have to muster. We're so used to the left creating false outrage. It's time to be a little outraged at the evil that they are spreading. That was a teacher. That is somebody who has lost his humanity. And how did he get that way? He got that way because the left has been fomenting hate, inciting violence for years now, and we've just taken it. It's time to stop taking it.
Well, Karen,
verbally, we must fight back.
Here's the Jimmy Kimmel.
Our First Lady Melania is here.
God.
Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
I just loathe this. This is such a disgrace. Why do you think they want to take God out of our culture? So they won't feel accountable for celebrating death and murder. They're a death cult. That's what they are. Yeah, I'm getting really aggravated, and I can't wait. I'm going to make it my business, Ken, to listen to you at 10:25 because I really want to hear you let loose. And it's time we let loose in moral outrage. Verbal moral outrage to call them out and let people know they're the racists, they're the bigots, and they're the haters, and always were.
Well, he's not going to be that good. He'll be all right.
Oh, stop.
Okay.
I'm sorry for letting you rant.
No. That's what you're here. That's what you're here. We love it. Karen, but the thing is, Karen, is that they keep saying whenever something like this happens, they say, okay, we need to tone down the rhetoric. No. That's out the window. You radical left, need to tone down the rhetoric. We're not wishing anyone dead. We're not celebrating when someone's killed. You are, and we need to call that out every time we can.
Don't give too much away.
No. I know.
I know you're going to go wild in like 10 minutes.
Good. You know what they got away with early? Because, well, it takes a long time for conservatives to come to a boil. Is they got away with blaming Donald Trump's in-your-face honesty with inciting violence and being hateful. They justified their hate by pinning it on Trump because Trump is a straightforward guy. I sort of think if he were of their liking politically, like they did with Truman, then they would have celebrated his authenticity. But they've been blaming him for the tone they've been creating for 10 years now. And it's open season on all of us, open season on Trump. And then they say, see, the tone in this country has to be taken down a notch. That's why we have to kill Donald Trump. How disgraceful and that anybody would buy that lie is that.
And the left is using it's a both sides issue. No, You guys are the
No.
violent ones. You were the guys
Moral
who shoot at people.
equivalence.
Right.
None.
Right.
There's no moral equivalence. How many people thought that any of these crimes were done by conservatives or that, no, there's no parity whatsoever. I'm
So
repeating
let's talk about Saturday night a little bit, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to fly through some stuff here, but comment on anything or everything that you would like.
Okay.
So there were three guys who the first thing that came to their mind was to protect their wives.
Yes.
One was Stephen Miller, who had his arms around his wife, and she was under him. If anybody shot, he was going to get it, not her. Pete Hegseth took a little bit different of a stance. He was standing behind his wife, militarily checking out, the room, what's going to happen, and being able to react. And then President Trump, because people say, he fell. No, he got on top of Melania in case anybody was going to shoot, that it would hit him instead of her. These are gentlemen. These guys are virtuous and very noble.
I saw the post of that, and I wanted to repost it, but I didn't want to cover up the one I already posted, because that's exactly right. It is key, and masculinity matters. Decency matters. Why do you think they've been emasculating men for so long? Because nobody's going to fight the wars. Nobody's going to protect children and women or anything else when they're wearing a dress and can't decide if they're male or female. It was a direct cultural attack on who we are and on masculinity, because we are in a cultural war. There's no doubt about it.
Protecting your women starts early, right? I was always told, if you're walking down the street, you're holding your girlfriend's hand, you are on the street side of the sidewalk. In case the car jumps the curb, it'll hit you.
My husband does that.
Okay. And when you're walking up or downstairs, when you're walking up the stairs, you walk behind her in case she falls. If you're walking down the stairs, you walk in front of her in case she falls.
I can't help myself, and I was going to try and shut up, but who has been lecturing us that we're the what do they call it?
Misogynistic people.
Misogynists. Yeah, we're the misogynists. We're the haters of women. Why? Because they get offended if a man treats a woman with respect and holds the door for her. So you see how they've been deteriorating the very things that protect women by claiming they care more about women. That's a perfect example.
And can I bring up a couple more just very
Please.
quickly? And there's a bit of a story here. I'll try to make it brief. My daughter Marielle, my second in line but older daughter, went out on her first date. Right. First of all, she was out of high school already. None of the boys in high school would date her because they all thought I was in the mafia. So they never asked her out.
It's valuable.
Truth. Yeah, I was glad. Great. Yeah. Hey, what do you want to do? All right. Anyway. So she went out on this date. This kid came into the house. I was happy to see that. Didn't just beep the horn or something. Sat down at the kitchen table, had a cup of coffee with me. This is great. And then they leave. I ran to the front door to look out the window to see if he was going to open the door for her. And he did not. So
he did?
He did not.
Oh, he did not.
So I told Marielle, dump him. So, but holding the door, opening,
Right.
Sitting in the back seat of my father's car, I watched him my whole life when I was little, open the door for my mother, close the door, and then walk around the car and get in a seat, right? So in my head, that's what you do. You didn't know you were being chivalrous. You didn't know you were being misogynistic. You were just doing it. So I always do it. And holding the door, I'll hold the door for any gender person if I'm going into a store,
I do too.
But I'll always go, come on. What am I, the doorman? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It just gives them a look. I can't keep my mouth shut. But
You're adorable.
You gotta protect.
But I mean, just think how we've been told that all the good stuff we do is bad and all the bad stuff we do is good. They have literally tried to turn our country upside down by subverting our best values, our best instincts, subverting honesty, decency, personal accountability. God, things like Saturday just make you go, I've had it.
And the one person in that room, Karen, when those shots rang out, Erica Kirk, what do you think was going through her head?
We know what was going through her head, and she showed it. And we don't want more of that. and we have to stand up. It feels weak to say it's enough already. I'm hoping that what you do later today will change the tone. I applaud Melania tremendously for coming forward and calling these people out because, I don't know. It's hard because you know that everybody who we know and love feels like we do, and you can't always come up with the words. So
I was watching Erica Kirk being ushered out, and
yes,
Karen, she has PTSD. I mean, she is. I think this action, what happened here, just did it for her. She was walking out. I just want to leave. I just want to leave.
Yeah.
She's a fighter. You know what? And you get so much bile being slown at her. I mean, there's so much at her right now. And for what reason? What did she do? But took up the mantle for her husband. I mean, that's all she's done.
Yeah. There's just no bottom to these people.
All right.
There isn't.
Final thought, Karen. They had, the No Kings rallies, right? These kids hold these No Kings rallies.
Yes.
And guess who's coming to visit the president soon?
Don't know.
The King of England, King Charles. Are they going to do a No Kings thing outside the White House? Oh, my God, they're terrible.
You should look at him and say, "You're a king, I'm not."
Right.
That's why
Karen.
we left Britain.
That's right. All right, listen, couldn't wait to talk to you about all this. Be sure you tune in for Ken's great monologue coming up, okay?
I absolutely will.
We'll talk Thursday.
Take care.
You too.
See you, Karen.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You know what? Let's go to break now. Come back, and then I'll read you something you need to know. And then Ken's up to bat. You swinging with the donut on the bat right now? Getting on the on-deck circle?
Exactly exactly right.
Kenny's next on News Talk STL. Don't miss it.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
If they had to pay out $159 billion lead. True international average of pressure.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and newstalkstl.com.
All right, just very quickly. This isn't a rock and roll thing, long thing. But Little Feat's on their farewell tour.
Oh.
And they're going to have a stop at the factory.
Are they really?
In Chesterfield, yeah.
How many original members?
Well, Billy Payne, for sure. I'll have to look that up.
Okay.
I'll have to look it up.
All right.
I think Sam Clayton certainly is still alive, but Paul Barrere, I think, is dead.
That'd be a fun show.
Kenny Gradney, I think, is dead. Boy, now I'm depressed.
No.
Why'd you do that?
I know. I did it. Sorry.
I'm so kidding. All right, listen. Chris Cooper, right? He's been hanging out with us a long time. Has Diane Wood on his show on Easter Sunday from Charlie Stott Bakery. Then he has Kathy Connor on from Connor Roofing. Listen, you know what's going to happen? Hey, coming up this Sunday on Serenity Wealth Now Radio, Karen Kataline. I bet he's going to muscle in on my Karen Kataline.
I would if I was him.
Hey, damn it. Nobody is on my side on that. Okay, so Chris Cooper, people flock to him. He's a guy. You know, the word we never use with him, and we should, is charisma.
That's true. Yeah.
He's got charisma.
He does.
Now, charisma doesn't mean knowledge. However, he does have charisma and knowledge and a very cool way to talk to you about your money.
Yeah.
Because who wants to talk about their money? I know I don't. So find out more about it from Chris. He's got 3 books now. Look at him. Long list of books that he's authored. Tax-free strategies for long-term care and the new holistic retirement. You can get both of those at serenitynowtax.com. And now the business owner's playbook for financial clarity. You can find that at serenitynowbiz.com.
And they're all free.
They're all free. You don't have to pay a dime for any of them. So find out more about it. Radio show Sunday morning, Serenity Wealth Now. Go ahead, say it.
Full of fun with finance, my friends.
Serenity Now with Chris Cooper.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
Serenity now! I really like all the things you're saying.
News, analysis, opinion.
Thank you very, very much.
News Talk STL.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alan Link, owner of the Dental Link. You've heard ads about teeth in a day, but did you know that you will be chewing on plastic, acrylic teeth? Here at the Dental Link, we can give you porcelain crown and bridge teeth utilizing mini dental implants that function much more like real teeth at about half the cost. Plus, mini dental implants are less invasive, less painful, and your recovery time is much shorter. Give us a call at 314-794-6464 or simply visit us today at thedentallink.com.
Hey, Columbo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code Tony at Intervine.com.
Hi, I'm Jen Wallner.
And I'm Rodney Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Rodney, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission rate?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
When's the best time to sell your home?
Right now. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
News Talk STL. Columbo and Company.
Join us every day for conversations with a wide variety of guests as we keep you informed and up to speed on all the important news and headlines you need to know.
Live and local weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
The name's Francis Sawyer, but everybody calls me Psycho. Any of you guys call me Francis, and I'll kill you. And I don't like nobody touching my stuff. Just keep your meat hooks off. If I catch any of you guys in my stuff, I'll kill you.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Oh, yeah. I love how Ken butters you up right away with the jungle song from Sonia Dada just to get you a little closer to the radio. Is that what you did there?
Love it.
I see what you did.
And a little whoosh.
And a whoosh. 11th Annual Jeff Hansen Memorial Foundation Sporting Clay event is happening on Saturday, May 16th at Black Valley Hunting Preserve in Old Monroe, Missouri. Get your team of 4 together or just play with yourself. I mean, you know, as playing as a single.
No, I got it.
What'd you think on it? Okay. Cost includes breakfast, lunch, and shells for the day. It all starts 8 a.m. on Saturday, May 16th. And to honor our great friend Jeff Hansen, and as he would have insisted, have a lot of fun. Go to jeffhansenmemorialfoundation.com or newstalkstl.com for more information. Okay, Kenny, the floor is your... I recognize the gentleman from the great state of Missouri. That's you.
Thanks, Vic. What I wanted to talk about was indoctrination and radicalization. That's really the bottom line here. We've been experiencing these things where we know, the people who listen to this show, the Vic heads, everybody knows what's happening on the left, and it's so blatant, and we base it all on facts. Okay, that's the way we deliver the information. We never say, oh, I hope he dies. We've never said that on the show, and I would actually call out anyone, a conservative, if they ever said anything like that. I was shocked when I first found out, and I was up in Zion. I was actually in George when Charlie Kirk was murdered. And when I saw the responses from the left, that was the first time I really realized, wow, we've got a problem in this country. And it's indoctrination, and it starts with our kids in the schools. Proof in point. Here's a proof in fact right now. That teacher, the teacher we played earlier, and this teacher who tried to kill President Trump Saturday night, they were educators in our system right now. We need to do something, I think, farther back like then and keep these kids from being indoctrinated. You know they're being indoctrinated right now. This teacher, he was a smart guy, or he is a smart guy. He's still alive, thank God, because now they can find out more information about these people. He was actually an educator. He was smart, but then somewhere along the way he got radicalized. He got indoctrinated. How is that? Well, I think it's because of the media. I believe that, and here we are on a microphone in a major market, in a major radio station, talking about the media. Well, guess what? This is the fact of life right now. That legacy media has been indoctrinating people for so many years. This is proof right here. This is proof that these people are being indoctrinated. This man tried to kill the president of the United States, a guy who's never had a record in his life, who was actually, he claims to be a Christian that goes to church every day, has a wife, has family. The family rejected him over time. The family started to see, wait a minute, there's something wrong with him. Why is he doing and saying the things that he's saying? It's because of the media. It's because of the leadership of this country. The Democrat Party has now left the Democrats in this country. You've got Democrats at work every day, and they pay their bills like you and I do. They're Americans, and they're not going to admit it because that's the way Democrats work, but they're going to say to themselves, man, this party has radicalized and left me. They're not the same party that they used to be. So this guy, this teacher, goes in and he tries to kill President Trump. And let's stop kidding ourselves here. That was the goal. You know, when they talk about, well, no, he was going after the cabinet. He was possibly going after the press. Bull stuff.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
Thanks, Vic. I have a couple questions. He left California and was in D.C. at the hotel where the White House Correspondents' Dinner was held. Imagine the intent that he had in order to travel that distance, all the while thinking about what he was going to do. He had to think the whole time, and apparently he didn't take a plane. He was on a train. That's a long ride.
He had to take her from California to Chicago, then Chicago to D.C.
Right. And that's a heck of a ride to be thinking about this stuff. Mm-hmm. He either moved several weapons or procured them in and around D.C. or figured out a way to get them in the proximity to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We don't know exactly how he did all this stuff, but he sure did it, and that's a problem for the Secret Service. He took the time to load the weapons to his body, onto his body. He reportedly included several knives, and nobody even noticed any of the stuff. In a hidden location, he was somehow aware that the president was in the room and was seated down. See, this is the problem I have. He was at a location far enough away where there's no way you could know where these people were, where the president was, where his staff was. They seated not long thereafter is when he started to run in. How? Why did he know all this stuff? I just don't understand all this, Vic. Mm-hmm. If he wasn't a guest at the White House Correspondents' Dinner and he couldn't see the president where he was, how did he know? It's not like he could look into the room. He couldn't. He was too far away. It's like 50, 75 yards away. He was supposedly a guest at the exact same hotel. That's odd to me. I mean, how could you be a guest and be in the same building with the highest people in this country? Every room in the hotel had to be booked for months in advance in D.C. on a Saturday. And people who've been to these events, they've tried to book in months in advance. How did he get a room?
That's right.
How did he get a room to this thing? It seems like it would have been a monumental task, at least in my mind, to book a hotel in D.C. and with a major presidential event. And then all of it screams that he had help from someone in D.C., somebody with some serious knowledge and capabilities. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just asking questions, and I want answers. You just don't pull this off like something like this on a whim without some serious reconnaissance ahead of time. And I believe personally that it had to be with other people. That's just my take on it.
Kim, that's all great. Can I add a couple things?
Absolutely.
I think he had the guns and knives with him because they don't check on a train. You get on an Amtrak train, they don't have no metal detectors.
You're right. You are absolutely correct.
Before 9/11, you could get there, and I know this from experience, you could get to the train station a minute before that train leaves and get on and go where you're going.
You know, that's funny you say that because my wife and I took a little train trip from Kirkwood down to Washington, Missouri for Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's nice.
And I thought it was going to be one of those things where you get checked and you go in. They're like, no, the train's going to leave right now. Mm-hmm. You got to go over there. And we jumped on and we were gone.
Yeah. I had to drive from northwest New Jersey down to central New Jersey every Saturday to get to the train to get to Philadelphia. And trust me, there were times when I got on that train and it started moving.
Yeah, yeah.
So they don't check. That's how we could have got and getting it into the hotel, also probably no problem. Remember the guy that shot up the Las Vegas concert?
Yes.
All the weapons he had.
56 people were murdered.
In the bag that's on the luggage rack right at the check-in thing.
Oh, see, yeah.
So they don't check either.
Yeah.
The hotel doesn't check for weapons, and trains don't check for weapons. Maybe we need to change that.
And so the bottom line, Vic, is this whole narrative that the media is trying to push onto President Trump. President Trump is nothing that they're saying. It is a creation that they've made on the left. And you know what? They're very successful at it. You know why? Because they have the media at their side.
That's right.
And it needs to stop. It needs to end. I don't want to hear anybody's talking about we need to tone it down. You know what I want to do? I want to tone it up.
Ratchet it up.
I want to ratchet it up because whenever somebody says that to me, I'm going to say, here are the reasons why you're going to hear me scream at you.
Right. So get ready.
I'm done. But now I won't be saying murder. I won't be saying shoot and kill somebody, but I am saying it needs to stop.
Yep. So you mentioned that he got a room. How did he get a room at this hotel that, like you said, you need to reserve months in advance? How did he get that?
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's 1,000 rooms in that hotel, but I'm sorry. Why wasn't every single guest at that hotel vetted and checked and talked to if there was anything weird going on? Now he was staying at that hotel. So do you know how many people he could have just walked by in the lobby on the way down to breakfast?
Oh yeah.
Go to the pool maybe?
Yep.
Hey, you might have just passed right by the guy that was going to take a shot at the president.
Yes.
That's a little creepy and weird to me.
Now, in their defense, Vic, this guy had no record.
Yes.
I mean, if they would have vetted him, they would have said, "Oh,
you know what?
An award-winning teacher. He was actually teacher of the month back last year or 2 years ago, whatever."
Yep.
So they wouldn't have been able to find him there. But the whole idea that he was in the same hotel and how did he get the room?
Unbelievable. All right, Ken, great job. That was okay.
Thanks. It's all right.
Ken's okay. He's not great. No, I'm kidding. Ken's great. That was great. I couldn't wait to hear that. And you really nailed it, Ken.
Thanks, Vic.
Nailed those lefties to the wall. So I lost the sheet that tells me he was coming up next, Ken.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Why am I such an idiot? Well, we're certainly going to have some fun, that's for sure. That's next. On 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for Ken Williams.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at NewstalkSTL. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Be cool, honey bunny. Be cool.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's NewstalkSTL.
I think you're a little confused.
News, analysis, opinion.
I've got something to say and I can't hold it any longer.
1019 and 94.1.
You won't hear the truth anywhere but here. NewstalkSTL.
NewstalkSTL.
If fishing is your passion, you need a shop that shares it. 367 Bait Shop and Fresh Fish, family owned and operated by brothers Ty and Tony Baker, has everything the serious angler needs. The widest selection of catfish bait, fresh fish, and quality fishing supplies, all at prices that won't break the bank. Their knowledgeable staff is ready to answer your questions. And while you're there, don't miss their delicious fresh fish fries. 367 Bait Shop on Benham and Spanish Lake, or visit 367baitandtackle.com.
Looking for unbelievable deals? Stop by Overstock Outlet in Lake St. Louis or Warrenton, open 7 days a week. Discover big savings on a huge variety of merchandise with no hassle. Just great prices. Visit us in Lake St. Louis on Highway N or in Warrenton on Boones Lake. Check out our Facebook page at Overstock Outlet Lake St. Louis or go online to overstockoutletstl.com. Unbeatable value, friendly service, and you never know what we'll have at Overstock Outlet.
This year, America turns 250, and News Talk STL is celebrating our nation's semi-quincentennial all year long. News Talk STL, number one for live and local Soros-free talk, with proud supporters of our 250th birthday celebration, Gulf Shores Restaurant, Pacific Animal Hospital, and Williams Brothers Meats. 250 years strong, and we're just getting started. 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Concerned about the condition of your windows driving up your energy bills? I was too. It's only called STL Windows and Doors. Their Provia windows combine old world craftsmanship the professional way, the Provia way, with over 65 years of combined experience, locally owned, offering competitive pricing and personalized service that the big box companies can't match. Call today for your free in-home estimate and start saving tomorrow. 314-277-5952 or stlwindowsanddoors.com.
Fox News commentary with Jesse Waters. Next.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Here's Jesse Waters.
I'm beginning to think the entire Democratic Party is a whole scam. What is it really about? Stealing money, flooding the country with illegals, and calling us racists. That's it. Every time you look under the hood, all you find are scams. COVID. Wait a second. Fauci funded the lab where the virus came from? Whoa! Somali daycare, $19 billion. Wait a second, there's no children in the daycare center. What happened to USAID? None of the money left D.C. It all went to Democrats there. Everything, Russia, Hunter, whatever happened to the Green New Deal? It was about $1 trillion, right? Where are the windmills? Where are the solar panels? Where'd they go? I haven't seen anything. They haven't even built the little charging stations for the EVs. Where did it go?
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
It's not personal. It's strictly business.
On NewstalkSTL.
You know what's funny? It is all business, nothing personal. Even everything we say on the air here.
Yeah.
It's not personal. It's business. You're stupid. You're a stupid ass.
That's right. You're dumb.
You're dumb. You're just dumb.
Dumb.
So, I don't know why, but this song you're playing, I cannot explain why. But you know how, like, when you're on Twitter, a band will come up and it doesn't tell you who it is. You got to figure out who it is.
Oh, yeah.
So they put this band up, female lead singer. I click on it. I'm sorry, you got to lower this so I get confused. So the group was a group called Smith. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
Baby, it's you. She's so sexy. That woman, her voice is so sexy. Anyway, that came up in my feed, and I was just like, yeah. I'm old.
Uh-huh.
All right. Let's talk to Joe. Hi, Joe. Welcome to News Talk STL. How are you, sir?
Ken and Vic, great show.
Thank you.
Loving the show. My question is, so this kind of takes Southern Poverty Law Center off the front pages, right? I had to think for a second, what was the story before this that was so important? And I was like, oh, yeah, Southern Poverty Law Center.
Hey, I don't disagree with you. Go ahead.
So that story to me has deeper roots, more legs than this story. I understand this is an important story. They're still trying to kill Trump, but the Southern Poverty Law Center, why aren't we going in and shutting it down? Why aren't people going to jail? This is RICO. They lied, they stole, this is terrible what they did, and we haven't personalized it. No one's been charged. No one's going to jail yet. They haven't shut it down. What are we doing?
All right, here's the good news, okay? If there's any good news in everything you just said, there's a little bit. First of all, they have been indicted, right? There was like 13 indictments, so that means...
Wait, against people at the Southern Poverty Law Center or just the Southern Poverty Law Center?
I don't know that. Do you know that?
No, I don't know yet, Joe, but what they need to do is, they need to actually go through a process, probably. But you know what, to Joe's point, I think what they could do is at least stop their activities.
Yeah. And the other thing, Joe, is not unfortunately, but they're always not guilty, innocent until proven guilty. So we got to go by that. But let's hope that it's true.
Go back to Mar-a-Lago. Go back to all the Trump guys that they went to their raids at 6 a.m. with guns drawn, and they went through Melania's underwear drawer. Southern Poverty Law Center is still operating. It's outrageous, guys. Our Justice Department is not doing its job.
I agree. I completely agree. And we have to, like you said, find names, not just Southern Poverty Law Center. We have to find names of people who were responsible for fundraising, for where money went, right? Accounts payable, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, Joe, I'm with you.
You're letting the left kind of drive the narrative, Vic. That's what I'm saying.
Hey.
Like, you're letting the left drive the narrative.
You know what? It's not my fault. It's not Ken's fault.
Not you.
No,
not
but listen,
you, Vic, not you,
we're the ones who say we got to be on the offensive,
Exactly
and we're
right.
just not.
And I understand the sympathy of Joe.
I get it.
What he's saying is that we have a media that we have to deal with that we were just talking about earlier, Joe, and that's the fight. I believe that's the fight, the whole radicalization and indoctrination.
You can suspend federal licenses, right? CBS, ABC, NBC, they're all federally licensed. If they're lying and not telling the truth, you can suspend their license. You can take them off the air.
Well, I think we can't because of the First Amendment. I agree with you 100%. All you can do is, if they said something about you, you sue them for defamation, right?
Which they're actively doing.
Which is what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, all we can do is, okay, so I'm gonna give you a phrase, a baseball analogy of a guy that used to be my coach when I played in Babe Ruth League for 13, 15-year-olds. He wasn't concerned with home runs. His big thing was, let's base hit him to death.
Yeah.
Just base hit him to death.
Small ball.
And that's what we did, and we won a lot, So I think if we just base hit him to death, Joe, we'll get there. But we can't quit. Got to be on the offensive. We can't be having things thrown at us, and then we got to defend ourselves. That's bull stuff.
But Vic and Ken, they're federally licensed, and they're lying. So you can pull their federal license. You can.
So you're right.
What you're saying.
What you're saying there, I think I agree with, is that we need to deactivate them right now while investigations are pending. I mean, you can say stuff like that. What did the Biden administration do constantly? They stopped people's activities until they they went to court.
They went into the abortion protesters' home
Yeah.
with 6 kids, guns drawn, 6 a.m., and pulled them out. He was protesting abortion. Look at what the Southern Poverty Law Center directors have done. And where is the outrage? Where's the Department of Justice taking these people down for what they're doing?
And Joe, as much as we agree with you, we just don't want that. We don't want our government in general to do what the Biden administration did. In other words, what they did was wrong. That was wrong. We can't say, well, we're going to do it now just to show them how bad it was. We just can't do that. We shouldn't do that.
Right.
We should actually fight against it, and then so it doesn't happen again. But
But let me, Ken. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the problem is Southern Poverty Law Center is an ongoing, active RICO. It's an ongoing, active criminal organization.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's Joe. I don't want to interrupt you, but that's why we
yeah.
should stop their activities.
Somebody
for
should
right now.
Somebody should be perp walked by
right.
now.
Oh yeah.
This would have been a place where that 6 a.m. raid made sense.
You're right.
Because now
You're
they're
right
just
about that.
wiping-
You're right.
They're just wiping the evidence off their things, and nobody's going to be held accountable because we're taking too long to go in and get the actual evidence.
All right, Joe, stop yelling at me, okay? I don't like getting
All right.
yelled at.
Joe,
show.
you're frustrated. Joe, a lot of people listening right now are very, very frustrated. And we totally agree with what you're saying. We just have to do it in a process that will stand. We can't do what we cannot do what Biden did.
You're revving
the
him up.
administration.
You're revving him up again. What are you doing? Now he's going to yell at us again.
Ken and Vic, isn't it amazing how all these people, all these great liberal progressive thought guys that gave $800 million to the KKK-11 Southern Poverty Law Center, all the lives that Southern Poverty Law Center has destroyed, none of them are asking for their money back.
Yep.
None of them are suing
That's
the
a great
Southern Poverty
point.
Law
That
Center.
is a good point, yeah.
That's a great point. All right, Joe.
Did
listen,
they know?
No.
All right.
No. Are you done? I don't want to interrupt you. You done?
I'm done.
All right. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Chesterfield.
All right. Don't yell at me anymore. You hear me? Thanks, Joe.
Have a great show. Thanks.
We'll do our best.
Thanks,
No
Joe.
promises. Boy, I love when people get revved up like that. I really do.
I think a lot of people are pissed off, Vic.
And Joe's right.
No, he's right.
I just, here's what I don't want to happen.
I would love to perp walk all of them and say, okay, we'll do it now, and then we'll go through it all later. But no, you can't really do that.
I think when you do something, you have to think of every reaction, right? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right?
Right.
That's science, I think.
But what Joe's saying, Vic, is that when they perp walked, for example, Peter Navarro.
Yeah, I get all that.
They did it right away.
But
They
listen,
didn't mess around.
What I'm talking about is if you take the license away from any of the networks, what are they going to call Trump? Say it.
Oh, a king.
Even worse.
Oh, Hitler.
Hitler.
Yeah.
Because that's what Hitler did. Hitler shut down and took away the radio.
I totally agree with that, but there needs to be more oversight on what is being. Okay, like for example, 93. The MRC said it. 93% of the news that comes out of the legacy media that they get our airwaves for is negative against President Trump. Why is that? Because it's allowed to happen. They need to regulate, find some way to say, okay, if you're going to have these free airwaves for you, then you need to at least be a little more even tone in the news reporting. Vic, I told you, the National News Desk, I watch that all the time, and they just report news, and I appreciate it. Sometimes it's for Trump, sometimes it's not. But it's at least news. It's not this whole narrative thing.
I completely agree with everything you said. It's the whole narrative. But it's also, I hate to use this word, I hate it. It's the optics, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the left, well, think about what all the idiots on Facebook, Michael Burton, and, you know, everybody else that's a liberal on Facebook. See, he's Hitler. That's what Hitler did.
Yep.
Took away the radios, because that's true. The first thing that they took away from the Jews, were the radios. Cut them off from communication completely.
Yeah. What is keeping the extreme left in power when they're in power again? What's keeping them from doing whatever they want to the American people? The weapons. What's the first thing that they always talk about? What's the first thing that they wanted to do when that activity happened Saturday night? Get rid of the weapons. The weapons stand between them and us and complete authority.
Gun control.
Gun control.
First thing they said. So Greg Gutfeld on the 5, this was Friday, I guess, or maybe Thursday. Jessica Tarloff, everybody's favorite vocal fryer. Because every word she says has vocal fry. Every single word, not just one or two. Every single word. Tarloff, everybody.
Oh,
sorry, Vic. And Greg Gutfeld on the 5 took her down and stomped on her head. Go.
Imagine if Trump had not won and Kamala Harris had won. Imagine where the SPLC would be now. Imagine how torn apart this country would be. And by the way, I hope that this thing mends, but I don't know, because there are people like you, Jessica, who have such a sunk cost in this belief that this is a belief you were tricked into believing, to think that there's all these racists hiding behind every Cracker Barrel. No, you know what the racists were? They were the anti-racist black activists who saw this as a way to go after whites. This racism that you created was designed to allow for a different kind of racism. And I go back to the contrast. We don't have to defend our racists because we don't know who they are, because you create them. Meanwhile, we don't have to make up your racist because you're standing there with Hassan Piker. These guys are right there in our face.
Hassan Piker, that's
crazy, man.
No, this guy's a nut. That is a racist.
Let's get into that. But first, Greg, we didn't even hear Jessica, which was great because nobody wants to hear her voice. But she really is trying to say that the Southern Poverty Law Center does nothing but good for people.
Yeah, yeah.
So if Jessica Tarloff saw a KKK parade or march or whatever it is coming down her street, what is she going to say? Is she going to say, oh, my God, the KKK, they're a bunch of racists? Or is she going to say, oh, the KKK, Southern Poverty Law Center finances you guys, so you must be good.
Right. Because that's what they did. They financed all these extreme groups like that. What was that one group that came out with the khakis and the hats and the masks and everything? They were saying front. And they were saying that, oh, well, we're with Trump. We believe in Trump. We love Trump. And it turns out the Southern Poverty Law Center funded and financed them.
Let's talk about this Piker guy. Piker, is that his last name? Piker?
Yeah, Hassan
Piker.
Yeah.
He says, because this is the thing now, if you can get some attention and say the most outrageous things, then you're going to make a ton of money.
Yeah.
All the posts on on X that you say, no, that's so stupid. That's not true. And then you reply to that thing, that's giving that person clicks and making them money.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So the more outrageous you are, the more successful you are.
And you actually wrote about this, and it was a great video where you talked about, someone has to do it. See, when I say that, everyone knows exactly what I mean. That which is, I think that shows that there's a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, and untapped potential, untapped revolutionary potential, as a matter of fact. And it's a great opportunity for organizing, I think, in these unprecedented.
Many people on the left, Vic, are just like this. They don't care about making America great or growing or people in it. They want to burn it to the ground and then start with a new thing, maybe say Marxism or communism, whatever it might be, but they don't like what is happening right now.
And the more outrageous you are, the more successful you are. If you have a podcast like Delicious Dish, well, look at these sweaty balls. Can't wait to get my mouth around them. That's not gonna make people listen or watch, right?
Well, that probably would.
But you see, Hassan Piker, is that his name, Piker?
Yeah.
He has said some pretty terrible comments about Jews, about other people too. And the only reason they do it, Ken, is to get clicks and make money.
I agree with a portion of them doing that, but Vic, they want to tear this country apart, and that's it.
This guy has no guts, okay? So in 6 months, you're never going to hear his name again.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Okay.
He's going to make his money. He's going to run. Who? Piker. Who was that?
Yeah.
So the Secret Service agent that was shot was saved by a bulletproof vest. May have been provided by our next guest.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
Are you tired of hard chlorinated water drying your skin out, tasting bad, and ruining your fixtures? Jones Air and Water Treatment has a solution to this pollution. Our Hydratech H2O leaves you with great tasting, soft water at all fixtures in your home with one unit. Call Jones Air and Water at 636-899-1040 or visit us on the web at joneswater.com. You can be a filter or buy a filter. Jones Air and Water, 636-899-1040 or joneswater.com on the web. Call us now.
What if your child's education went beyond test scores, fostering a life of cheerful virtue and the pursuit of excellence as a gift returned to God? At the St. Austin School, Catholic and classical education come together. No tablets or laptops in the classroom. A 12-to-1 student-teacher ratio. Our students successfully compete and lead at their choice of top high schools in St. Louis. Learn more at staustinschool.org. That's staustinschool.org.
Hey, Jamie Allman here, looking for the ultimate escape? Well, welcome to Santino's, where luxury meets authenticity in a stunning 6,000 square foot destination. Browse hundreds of premium cigars in the walk-in humidor. Explore more than 700 bottles of whiskey. Whether it's their non-smoking wine room, gaming lounge with custom poker tables, it's Santino's just off Highway 55 at the Imperial exit. See them at Santino'sCigarCocktails.com. That's Santino'sCigarCocktails.com.
Hey, it's Chris Arps. Becky and I recently discovered a restaurant that's quickly become one of our go-to restaurants, Timothy's in Creve Coeur. Led by executive chef Will Mabry, Timothy's serves contemporary American cuisine with a touch of Southern charm. Dishes like pastrami, smoked lamb, and shrimp and grits. My wife absolutely loved the lobster pot pie, and everything we've tried has been incredible. Amazing house-made desserts and over 500 wines to choose from. Enjoy dinner 7 nights a week, plus lunch, brunch, and private events. Timothy's in Creve Coeur at 12710 Olive Boulevard or online at timothysstl.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNVS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. Cole Thomas Allen, the 31-year-old suspect in the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting, scheduled to be arraigned today. President Trump had these words about the suspect.
President Trump calls the gunman who tried to breach the correspondents' dinner that he was at Saturday night a very troubled guy who left behind a manifesto showing he was out to get him and his administration.
He had a lot of hatred in his heart for quite a while. And it was a religious thing. It was strongly anti-Christian.
Speaking on Fox News channels, the Sunday briefing, Trump says the man's family did contact authorities about him.
Family said he had big difficulty. Maybe they should have reported him a little bit more strongly.
The suspect is identified by law enforcement officials as 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen of Torrance, California. I'm Julie Walker.
Iran offering to end its control over the Strait of Hormuz if the U.S. lifts its blockade and ends the war. The proposal would delay discussions on Iran's nuclear program. And other developments, the Iranian foreign minister has met with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss the situation. Talks between Iran and the U.S. have stalled now. Pakistan has been attempting to mediate. Authorities say fast-moving storms pummeling parts of the Midwest with hail, strong winds, and heavy rain flooding streets and leading to stranded commuters who needed to be rescued from their vehicles. More storms on the way through Monday night. The National Weather Service forecasts show that more than 64 million people in the Midwest are at risk of severe storms. King Charles III arrives in Washington for a 4-day state visit aimed at celebrating the United States' 250th anniversary. Charles will also visit the September 11th memorial in New York and attend a 250th birthday party in Virginia. More at townhall.com.
I talked to a lot of great companies. Very few of them actually literally surprised me, but Fellowship Home Loans sure did. For over 20 years, Mike and Brian and the team there have been helping families do something most people think is more complicated than it has to be. Get into a home, lower their rate, or tap into equity they didn't even realize they had. Everything at Fellowship is done in-house. One roof, one great team, all with a servant-led mentality. From your first phone call to closing, you're going to get people who know you by name. They'll know your situation. They treat you like family. They're also offering a free mortgage checkup right now. Don't miss out. Rates are lower now than if you purchased or refinanced your home in the last few years. Many Fellowship customers are saving hundreds of dollars a month when refinancing, and there are no payments for 2 months. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common-sense science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on NewstalkSTL. And you can visit us at INHSTL.com. That's INHSTL.com.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call and save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payment's interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this number right now.
800-493-5670. 800-493-5670. 800-493-5670. That's 800-493-5670.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-240-4586. 800-240-4586. That's 800-240-4586.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by the Trolley Stop Bakery, the official bakery of the Vic Porcelli Show. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
A 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough.
We squeeze in a dry hump day under partly sunny skies.
From New Jersey to Baldwin, Missouri,
Two behind the microphone, taking the whoosh to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show. Here he is, Vic Porcelli.
All right, hour number 3, put together by Ken Williams. Did a pretty good monologue there, you know.
Oh, thanks, Vic.
I'd say it was great.
No, right. No.
I'm just kidding. It was fantastic. It was great. So another maniac tries to kill the president of the United States. Rifle, handgun, knives on him. And this is the third time the life of President Trump has been threatened. And in this particular one, Saturday night, one Secret Service agent was shot. He's okay because he had on a bulletproof vest that might have been provided by our next guest, Michael Letts from Invest USA. How are you, Michael?
Doing great. How are you doing? It's always a privilege to be on your show, Vic, and we appreciate the opportunity.
You sound a little down. You okay? Did you have your coffee this morning? What's the problem?
Well, no, I appreciate you asking. Believe it or not, we've got 16 on the schedule for today. We've been through about 7 so far, and it'll last for a while. But there's a lot of people inquiring about what happened, and grateful the fact that, yes, that was one of our active shooter vests, and that's exactly what was needed because that was he had a shotgun besides a handgun, and that concealable vest would not have protected against that had he not had one.
So I was right. The vest was provided by InvestUSA.org. So, Michael, take me through a guy whose job it is to protect the president. And if you don't mind, I'd like to focus on one particular guy. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So there was a guy, as soon as this happened, he ran up to the dais, he turned around, and he stood right in front of President Trump. And if somebody was going to shoot at Trump, they'd hit this guy first. And that's just muscle memory and instinct, right?
That is correct. That's our special tactical team. You notice he was in full tactical gear along with he had an automatic weapon. And they are brought in. That is their goal objective. You have two different teams. You have the dress team, the ones that you see in their suits. And then you have the tactical team when we feel like it's necessary. We had gotten through intel some rumblings that perhaps there might have been a situation
what
was going to occur.
Why didn't we stop it before it happened, Michael?
Didn't have all the intel.
Oh boy!
And there's two things, and this has been one of my, and of course, they always depend on me to be the scapegoat. But here's one of the things that I have told Sean, the Secret Service director: the agents did a fantastic job. Okay. They did exactly what they're trained. They put their lives at risk for the safety of the guests, the president, the administration, and the cabinet. However, this is the same hotel that Reagan was shot.
Right.
30 years ago. Here is the problem. We're using the same logistics and protocol now that we were doing back then. It's time we update what we do. It's time we use better protocol, better logistics, because it's extremely difficult to provide protection in a hotel. And why is that? Because we don't shut down the hotel. We just are using the ballroom. So people are coming or going, they're checking in, they're coming in all kinds of entrances and exits because they're guests. It makes it extremely difficult to be able to provide the kind of necessary protection and security for the president. And it's time we update how we handle things, and they haven't gone through their procedures, their logistics in a long time, and it's time we get back into the 21st century.
Well, certainly Trump's ballroom would have avoided all of this, right? Let's start there.
No question. You're exactly right. I get a kick out of that, Vic. They automatically, if Trump says something, it's bad. That's just what they're trying to do to get ready for the midterms. If you stop to think about it, some of these things make sense. The president won't be able to enjoy that ballroom anyway. He'll be out of office before it's completed in usage. But it does provide an ability to do functions such as this in a secure area instead of risking the life of the presidency.
And he wants to do this again within 30 days. Is that enough time for the Secret Service to do the pre-intel before the event? Is 30 days enough time?
That's cutting it awfully close. we will make it happen because we try to do whatever we can for the president. And the president sent in a message, and I understand it. The message is very loud and clear. He will not allow those who are trying to disrupt what's best for this administration, what's best for this country, to feel like they can gain disruption and cause chaos because of their nefarious activity. But he wants to send the message loud and clear. That's why he wanted to actually Saturday night say, no, we'll just clear it up and let's go back out there and finish what we came for. Which I agree, at that stage, I doubt there was any security risk, but because protocol would have it once you break the seal, well, you basically need to get him out of there.
We're talking to Michael Letts, one of our greatest friends here on this show. He is from InvestUSA.org, and indeed, the Secret Service agent who was saved by the bulletproof vest came from Invest USA. I love that so much. Now, Michael, were you there by any chance?
I was on the phone while it was unfolding.
But you were in the hotel?
No, I was not in the hotel. I was back in D.C. in the studio.
Oh, got it. Okay. And so who called you? Who called you to tell you that this is going on? If you're allowed to say.
I won't use a specific.
Okay, no problem. I don't want.
I've got a lot of friends.
Question. I'm sorry.
That are there, and they were making sure that we had a play-by-play, gave direction as necessary.
All right. So that one guy, that one Secret Service agent who got up, stood in front of the president with his arms out, but we're both on the table, the dais, whatever the hell you call that thing, and he stood there waiting for a bullet. And try to tell me the head thing going on when you're doing that.
Well, I will tell you this. It's all, as you suggested, it's all memory, muscle memory, it's all your training. And this is what I tell people who I'm so critical of an officer who, defends himself or defends the public, and they say, oh, he was too aggressive, or he could have done something differently. You don't have time to think. When you're in these situations, you just respond the way you've been trained. You go over it so many times we lose track, and it's a natural reaction. This is what he knew what he was getting into before he signed up for the job. Once he said, this is what I want to do, and I'm willing to put my life on the line to make sure it gets done, he was trained, just automatic reaction. He didn't even think about it. He just did it.
Talking to Michael Letts. He's with Invest USA. You can go to investusa.org or on X at Invest USA. Michael, this guy in his manifesto, he said, I'm probably going to have to shoot people. I hope that they have a vest on because I don't want to kill people that aren't necessarily to be killed. I mean, this guy was not. He was definitely a lunatic. For anyone to do that, they'd have to be. But at the same time, don't you think he was just indoctrinated? He was, over a long period of time, he was just being radicalized by the left.
Oh, there's no question. And I think that what needs to be discussed by us on the independent media side, shall we say, is one of the scariest things. This is a teacher.
Yeah.
And, we have teachers that share that same philosophy all across the country, indoctrinating our kids. Why do you think we've got some real problems in the years ahead if we don't do something about that now?
Michael, I want to ask you about, I thought about this Saturday night, the wives of these Secret Service agents, the one who was shot, the one who was standing in front of the president. I mean, my God, they are a part of this and have, they're invested in this, no pun intended, invested in these guys, but they wish they didn't have to stand in front of the president and maybe wait for a bullet. I mean, the wife of that guy must have been, went through a fifth of scotch by that time.
Oh, there's no question. And it happens all the time, which is why it is so distressing, guys, when you have the mainstream media coming on saying we need to defund the police. You got to understand this Secret Service agent, that insult to injury, is standing there putting his life on the line. He had been paid in how long? 70 days? 60 days?
Right. That's
because,
true.
Congress can't seem, the Democrats are blocking the Homeland Security bill to be able to pay them. And so they're working for free, basically, right now.
Because DHS I always say Social Security. The Secret Service falls under the DHS umbrella. And if you don't fund DHS, you're not funding the Secret Service. What gives them the incentive to go protect the president?
Yeah.
It takes a special kind of person.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's what I was saying. The mainstream media, thank God for people like yourselves. I mean, but the mainstream media just feels like it's incumbent upon themselves to criticize and to try to defame them and try to, make them seem like they're orgs and thugs. And we don't pay them enough to begin with. And then they're willing to even work for free and they put their life on the line automatically because it's what they're trained to do. Guys, we can do better in this country.
Yeah.
No kidding. All right. Let's talk about some other stuff. Anything else you're working on? You did tease us a while back with the sting operation that you did, and you told us that if they go...
That is still there.
Okay,
and,
we're waiting.
And let me finish it up.
Okay.
That has now been supplemented. Tulsi, of course, Tulsi, with DNI. Tulsi is now validated. The list, remember I told you Madera said that there were 60 sitting U.S. senators, besides those that are in the House and even governors and all across the country who are on the Venezuelan payroll receiving foreign bribes.
Holy God.
And,
this is the one that's going to cripple the government, right?
Yeah. And so I want to make sure I'm talking to you because I told you you'd be first to know. I am putting it is there. We have the military tribunals in place. We are waiting on the go button. And quite frankly, you say, well, what's causing the delay? There is some internal argument about do we make this a RICO organized crime effort and it gives us more power and leverage? My response is no. We've got more than enough. Let me go ahead and bust them the way they need to be busted now.
Who hits the go button?
This will have to come from the commander-in-chief, the president himself.
Wow. I mean, I don't. We just think you're very cool, Michael. I mean, it's great to talk to you because, you save lives of first responders and
a lot of inside intel.
Right, but it's the inside intel that we really love. So as we go into days after this shooting now, what happens to the protocol for Secret Service, not at the event, but prior to the event? What needs to change?
Well, there's a number of things that need to change. First of all, prior to it, we've got to have it in an area that we can guarantee that we can secure.
Like a ballroom.
Think about it for a minute. Yeah, exactly. You're being facetious. You're being pretty good at that.
He is. Oh, he's good at that, no doubt.
You can't secure an area that's open for business that allows people to come in and out, unchecked. And you can't check everybody that comes in as a guest. I mean, what kind of intrusion is that,
Right.
I mean, so let's find a place that we secure and make sure that we do it in places that provide that security, not open venues to where it takes an easy crack at the president. That's the first and foremost thing we have to do.
So I thought of this actually this morning. Ken and I were talking about stuff. And how did he get guns and knives, right, across state lines? He was on a train. They don't check anything on a train. But checking into a hotel, you would think, well, how does that happen? Isn't there kind of metal detector? And then I thought back to the guy at the hotel in Las Vegas that shot up the country concert and killed how many people?
56.
56 people.
Yep.
How did that guy get weapons up to his room? And you know what? You see his bag on the luggage rack.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like clothes and sneakers and bathing suits.
No, it's like a duffel bag for rifles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could have been a duffel bag. I mean, specifically carrying a rifle carrying case. Nobody would have said anything.
I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I don't get the left. I don't get the people who call this stage. Do you think this was staged?
No, it was not. I mean, well, let me clarify that statement. Do I think that they thought that there was going to be a funeral for the president? No, they weren't that stupid. Was it staged, though, to send a message that, we're still here and we're going to be fighting you all the way, and this is just one more added concern to your plate? Why don't you just give up and let us control things behind the scenes? There's no question about that.
Well, Michael, I think the new dynamic here is you have a well-educated person who has no background, no radical background in whatsoever, who has been indoctrinated, who has been radicalized. That's just another piece of the people that you're going to have to be paying attention to now.
It is. You're exactly right. You hit the nail on the head on that one. We have another element now. It's just like I talked to you about a year and a half ago when I was on shows, and they say, how many terrorist cells, sleeper cells was the word we used. How many sleeper cells do we have? I'd tell you a little over 100. And then recently you asked the question, I said, there's over 1,000. I said, how can we jump from 100 to 1,000 in a matter of 12 to 14 months? I said, it's very simple. Before you talked about the sleeper cells, they were from radical Islamic jihadist groups. Now they've all banded together, whether you're a leftist liberal, whether you're a cartel member, whether you're a sex trafficker, whether you're a terrorist network, they've all have the same objective, and that's the destruction of this country by bringing down the Trump administration. And why is that so critical? Because you remember what made Trump so disliked by the left? He's exposing the nefarious activities that are going on. He's trying to shut down all the stealing, all the embezzlement, all the fraud, et cetera. And hey, I'm talking about even members of Congress. That's what we talked about a few minutes ago about the list.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to give up this free money they got coming. They've got offshore accounts. We know where they're at now. We've been tracking all this stuff. They don't want to give it up. They want to continue to make more money. And so they'll fight any way possible to keep their nefarious activities alive.
We're just about out of time, Michael, but I got to ask you this very quickly. To Ken's point, because this guy had no record, no criminal record.
No, nothing.
How do you profile completely clean backgrounds?
You can't.
Oh, great.
That's why, that's why you have to change. Remember, I said we got to come out of the 80s and come into this century. Here, you have to change the logistics, and that means you can't just go anywhere you want to go anymore. We have to make sure that we're in positions, our functions are in positions that we can provide the necessary protection.
All right, Michael, keep kicking ass. We love talking to you. Michael Letts from Invest USA, investusa.org. If you hear anything, please give us a call. Let us know. We can't wait to talk to you again, Michael.
Look forward to it. God bless America. We're going to win.
Back at you. We are going to win.
You got it. God bless you, Michael. See you.
So, I had this crazy idea that maybe the vest that the guy wore might have been provided by Invest USA. I'll be damned it was.
Right.
That's kind of cool.
And you can donate to Invest USA. It's such an important thing. These first responders, and it's not just top-level Secret Service that gets these, everybody. He actually offered one to my nephew in St. Louis, and they're working on getting him one. So,
wow.
Yeah, so donate if you can.
And after Saturday, donations should be pouring in right now.
InvestUSA.org, yeah.
Like a storm.
Yeah.
All right, Doug Blair, who also is in D.C., he works there every day. We'll see what he thought if he was there and what happened to him Saturday night, if anything. On 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, welcome home.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
But I feel badly also about the fistulas that are taking place in Eastern Congo.
On News Talk STL. If you have a phone, you have a radio. Download the all-new News Talk STL app.
Love the all-new News Talk STL app.
And listen anytime, anywhere.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Hey, it's Susie Moore. If new flooring makes you think hassle, think again.
because Michael's Flooring is changing the game. For over 30 years, Michael's has been locally owned and trusted for quality, variety, and amazing service. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl, or ceramic tile, their expert team makes installing new floors exciting, not stressful. That's why customers keep coming back. Visit Michael's Flooring at St. Peter's, Starting Prairie, Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Yes, I listen on my phone.
Download the all-new Newstalk STL app.
Love the all-new Newstalk STL app.
It is awesome. And listen anytime.
Love the Newstalk STL app.
Anywhere.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Turbocharge turbocharge the emerging global clean energy economy.
On Newstalk STL.
Always uncut, always unedited.
Believe me, because, it's my life. And I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone.
Yeah. When you're unimpactful, they leave you alone. He's called himself, Ken, like him or not, the most consequential president we've ever had. And I think he's right.
I agree with that.
So the next thing I'd like to say is, this cat, Doug Blair, they say he's a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
I'm just talking about Doug Blair. Let's go.
This just in. For the latest news from the D.C. swamp
Yeah,
and beyond,
I get it.
this is the Vic Porcelli Show East Coast Report with Douglas Blair on Newstalk STL.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hi, Doug.
What an intro. I mean, that was one heck of an intro today.
Well, you're as bad as Shaft, ain't you?
Yeah, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, baby. So, was Doug Blair in the last promo that we made? Not the balls one, I don't think, but I don't know.
He was in one of them.
I can't remember, but I think we got you in another promo that won't get us kicked off of YouTube or anything. Like you got us kicked off the first time, but that's
God
okay.
forbid.
That's okay. All right, so you're in D.C. Were you at the shindig last night, Saturday night?
Thankfully, I was not. I was safely home with my wife and my son, but I had many friends that were there. And, I mean, what is there to say? This was a terrible thing that happened. I think that we can put it squarely at the feet of the Democratic Party and the Democratic establishment, even though such luminaries as Barack Obama want to pretend that this wasn't motivated by politics. It very clearly was. The man was a Democratic donor. He, gave money to Kamala Harris. He posted in his manifesto that he thought that this man was a rapist, a pedophile, a fascist, all of the things that we've been hearing from folks like Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, AOC for years now. I don't really know what more there is to say.
Okay. I heard people over the weekend say, I'm not for this, I'm not against this, I don't know enough about it. Why for a ballroom thing? But I heard the phrase designated survivor over the weekend because every member of Congress was there. Every member of the cabinet was there. Just like the State of the Union, which has to have a designated survivor. But I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea.
To have a designated, I think it's a great idea to have a designated survivor. I think, frankly, if we were in a situation where the entirety of the U.S. government, with the exception of one guy, was cut off, that would be, I guess, a really good way to do it. I don't think we ever were concerned it was going to get that far, but what I do think is really telling is that the incident happens, right? And then you have this video afterwards of a lot of the journos sort of enjoying the wine and eating the food and laughing. And for me, the thing that was so damning about that was that they knew they weren't the targets. They knew that they weren't really in any danger because everybody knew who the target was. As much as everybody's trying to pretend this was just some random act of violence, Trump was there. Vance was there. They were the targets. It wasn't a matter of like, oh, this is a mass shooting. It was, this is a targeted assassination attempt, and the journalists instinctually know that, and that's why they're able to laugh it off, because they knew they were never in any danger.
So this is just because the show Designated Survivor, they had a show called Designated Survivor. Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland.
He played the agriculture secretary in the administration in the cabinet of the administration that was there. And he can see the Capitol from his hotel room, and the Capitol just explodes. Missiles hit it, it attacked, everybody's killed, and now he becomes the president. And that's a pretty scary thing, but I guess it's smart to have, so somebody's in charge, right?
Yeah, no, I think it is really smart to do that, and God forbid we ever get into a situation where that happens. The question is, who was the designated survivor? I don't know. More astute people than I are probably already, combing through the footage of who was there to see who the designated survivor was. But thank God that it didn't go worse than it did. I think the Secret Service did their job to the best of their ability, although I will say that Dan Bongino made a very good point that the Secret Service by default is always going to be more reactive than proactive. And I think their reactivity could definitely use an examination, because the fact that this guy was able to make it as far into the building as he did is problematic, to say the least.
Doug, I just want to make sure I heard you right. Are you saying there was a designated survivor for this event?
If there are people that are large amounts of the cabinet that are there will be somebody that is a designated survivor. I don't know if the entire cabinet was at the White House Correspondents' Center. I somehow doubt it. But if that is the case, then yes, there probably was. I can't say one way or another.
We're brilliant, Ken.
There was a huge portion of them, though, because when they had a picture afterward in the Oval Office, Doug, every one of them were wearing tuxedos. So, I would say that a good portion of them were, at least.
Sure. No, and again, it's entirely possible.
All right. So another thing, Doug, these Facebook social media experts who were medical experts during COVID, right? They're military experts because they were. So today they're, banquet experts, I guess. So everybody's saying, well, why did they take J.D. Vance out before they took the president out? And correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the Secret Service, every dignitary like J.D. Vance, like President Trump, have their own detail.
Yeah.
And they all came from that side of the stage.
That is correct. And I believe, Vic, that the proper term is banquetologist. If they went to school to study for banquetology, you should give them the proper respect.
Sorry.
But yes, no, it's kind of a desperate excuse, though, to try and pretend that this wasn't real. Obviously, the other narrative that's running around in a lot of leftist circles is that this was fake. We heard that about, the Butler shooting. We heard this about the Mar-a-Lago thing. We heard this about all of the assassination attempts, that this is just some invention by the Trump administration to ensure, for whatever reason, they just don't pay attention to something else, right? So it's either, he doesn't want us to talk about the Epstein files. He doesn't want us to talk about the Iran war. He doesn't want us to, he wants to build his ballroom. That's why they do this thing. And that's ridiculous. Obviously, it's not fake. The fact that this continuously keeps happening, I think, is more of an indication that the Democratic Party needs to tone down the rhetoric around the whole fascism, end of democracy thing, as opposed to the Trump administration is trying to find an excuse to build a ballroom. Like, he could just do that, right? And so I think that one of the things that's really frustrating, too, is that as much as the Democrats are trying to claim that this is now a time for us to turn down the rhetoric, they're always very cynically trying to separate themselves from it. So I think Obama's is the one that I mentioned at the top of our talk, and he basically said, well, we don't know what the motive is. Yes, we do. Sorry. He wrote a manifesto. We know what his motive was. And so this idea that, we're not responsible and it's actually fake, and that's why we need to, just not stop, or we need to stop talking about it, that's, I think, a very clear indication that they know what they're doing is wrong. They will continue to do it because, in a sense, they actually do want him dead.
Well, look at Nancy Pelosi. She doesn't take responsibility. Listen to this.
People don't have any intention of saying something that's going to lead to something dangerous, but we cannot take responsibility for the minds that are out there and how they hear it.
And yes, you can. Doug, you mentioned it earlier. We need to send this message out and keep pushing this message through the midterms, through 2028, that the left is in the tank to murder this president. They want him gone. That's all there is to
100%.
it. And they say things every single day. Nancy Pelosi is lying here. They're saying things every single day to take out this president and this cabinet.
Well, they always try to qualify it too. So I think the funniest one, and funny in a dark sense, was Chuck Schumer, who goes, the far right lunatics or the far right extremists in Congress need to be stopped, but we should really tone down the rhetoric. And it's like, come on, like you can't in both sentences say that you think that the far right extremists in Congress, i.e. the Nazis, i.e. the fascists, need to be dealt with, but then simultaneously be like, but actually we shouldn't be talking about this. We should just, tone down the rhetoric. This is very clearly a ploy. There's this idea that Trump is uniquely evil and needs to be eliminated. And as long as this continues to happen, as long as, they keep talking like this, there will be more assassination attempts. And again, one of them, it only takes one, and God forbid that it happens, but it doesn't really require that much effort to get what they want. And they're going to continue to push it until it does.
Unbelievable. That's Doug Blair, our East Coast report from Douglas Blair.substack.com.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Thanks, Doug.
See you next week.
Hey, see you, Doug.
So I thought for sure we'd hit one person who had been at the thing Saturday. Everybody we asked wasn't there. Michael Letts wasn't there. Doug wasn't there.
Well,
Bluey wasn't there.
Tony Kinnett,
he wasn't on today's show, was
no,
he?
but no.
Well,
But
that's
will be
what.
Thursday.
Beep, beep.
I hear you.
Beep, beep.
What?
The chat box is so jam-packed, Ken.
Okay,
you're mocking me, aren't you?
Yes.
Jam-packed chat box.
Awesome.
Next.
Like us on Facebook at NewstalkSTL. Follow us on Rumble at NewstalkSTL. Vic and Ken.
I'm not weird. You're weird. You guys are being so weird.
The Vic Porcelli Show on 101.9 and 94.1 NewstalkSTL. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Did Donald Trump and Republicans make everything great again over the weekend? We'll discuss with Senator Jim Talent at 4:25. At 5:25, Red State Headlines with Susie Moore.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on Newstalk STL.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Democracy is loud, and on Tuesday, June 2nd, you can be right in the middle of it. Newstalk STL is bringing the St. Charles County Executive Primary Debate to Lindenwood University in St. Charles at the J. Scheidegger Center for the Arts. No reservations, no tickets, just show up. Can't make it in person? Catch every word live on Newstalk STL from 7 to 8:30 p.m. The St. Charles County Executive Primary Debate on June 2nd. Brought to you by the St. Charles County Republican Central Committee, Mid-Rivers News Magazine, Lewis & Clark's Pachyderms Club, and the Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Hi, this is Steve Heitner. You may know me as Kenny Banya from Seinfeld, and you're listening to Vic and Ken on the Vic Porcelli Show on Newstalk STL.
Hello, Banyan. All right, Kenny, let's go. Jam-packed, full, 20 pounds of comments in a 10. Grant, sorry.
I get it.
Thank you. Happy, breezy, moist. Ew. Ew. Happy, breezy, moist. Hump Monday, you bunch of Vic-heads. Send your cards and letters to Grant Yankee. Sean Mullen says, good morning, Vic-heads, from Holbrook, Arizona. I miss Sean.
Give him a whoosh.
Whoosh. Oh, Sean. Good morning, Vic-heads. Thank you, Bill. Amy says, good morning, Vic-head Patriots. Stay safe today. GMFFVH, that's Barbara, says, hope Washington gets off its ass. Ooh, Barbara, I love it when you cuss. Let's go pass the Save America Act and pay for ICE. They're getting paid. So these guys are putting themselves in the line of fire for free.
Yeah. And John Thune, he's glad that this all happened so he wouldn't have to talk about the Save America Act. He needs to get his ass in gear and get this thing passed.
We should have to talk about it more now.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Tomorrow I want to kind of dissect a couple of things I didn't like about Saturday.
Okay.
About the Secret Service. They're great. They do the great job. I think they made a few mistakes. Good morning. And it's easy for me to say, right?
Right.
Good morning, quarterback.
That's all right.
Monday morning. Good morning, freedom fighters. Let's wind Ken up and let him loose. And that's exactly what we did. That was great, Ken.
Thanks, Vic.
That wasn't great. This is so frustrating. How can they hide behind 1A and continue to threaten the president's life?
It is frustrating.
We've said that, I think, from day. Oh, look, it's Ultra Mega dishwashing liquid joy. Good stormy day to all you ladies and gentlemen and gentle cats. Where I work in Bowling Green, we were under a tornado warning for 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And they released us all to go home early so that we can be home before the second round hits. And, of course, to put stuff in the chat box. That's really why they let them off. Everyone stay safe tonight.
Hey, how you doing?
We haven't heard Joy's Pledge of Allegiance in a while.
Well,
I'm requesting it maybe for tomorrow and
let's go.
Because her voice is so sexy.
It's great.
Good morning, Vic and Ken. Good news. The good news is something we don't hear about every day until we turn on the phone at 9 o'clock to listen to your show. We're lucky to have such a great radio station to listen to. Whoosh, my brothers!
Literally?
Whoosh. Wow. Good news is something we don't hear about every day until we turn my phone, and his phone is a radio, I love that, at 9 o'clock. I can't thank you enough for comments.
No, we do appreciate it, for sure.
This whole station's just kicking ass. So Ed Stewart's first. Everybody's got to be first.
We've united Asia.
All right, very quickly, I said we weren't going to do this. I saw the funniest video. This guy's bird watching. And he goes, is that a mockingbird? And the mockingbird goes, we get a mockingbird. Morning, Patriots. Hey, it's good to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. No fair elections.
No peace.
No fair tariffs.
No peace.
No fair chat box.
No peace.
Oh, my God. International Brotherhood of Chatboxers, Local 1019 and 94.1. PMS says, buongiorno a tutti. We got to teach him a couple other Italian phrases. He says the same one every day.
That's all right.
Like
more than I know.
Tutte cose sono buono.
I mean, or we could teach him Spanish. Have Dr. Jill teach him Spanish.
Say it with me. Si se puede.
Oh, she nailed that one.
This is Italian.
I know.
Not Spanish.
I said, and we should maybe even be able to teach him Spanish.
I forbid it. Because then it's going to turn into the Jildebeest, and then what do we do, Ken? You don't care. President one day later tells Nora O'Donnell to bite it. Donald John Grover Cleveland Trump. Good morning, Patriots. No fair election. We did that one. Morning, Ken and Vic, and freedom-fighting, American-loving Patriots from Allison. Hi, Allison. We love you. No Democrats. No peace.
No Democrats.
No violence.
Peace.
Right, sorry. Totally misread that. Good morning to you, beautiful mega magic. I'm skipping that today. You know I love you guys. What? You looked at me.
I would do it.
Oh, God. Good morning, all you beautiful mega ultra-patriotic, deplorable, garbage, degenerate, freedom-fighting, God-fearing, thick-head, weirdos, wash! Whoosh. The left is spinning the optics of Miller standing behind his wife as him hiding behind her.
Oh, are you kidding me?
My God.
She is very pregnant, number one.
Yes, she is.
And when the picture that I saw, he was between her and the possible threat of a shot being fired.
With his arms and body all over
Yeah,
her.
I don't know what they're talking. You know what? Okay, you know what, everybody, they're going to say this crap. This is what the left does. This is the left wing now.
Yep.
So go with it.
And they're not going to end it. This was staged. This whole event was staged. You know that, right?
Yeah, they're not going to end with any of their comments.
This still won't make the loony left lib turds to change their rhetoric at all. It stops when their TDS is cured. You pick these prescription. John Fetterman, Democrat senator from Pennsylvania, said, drop the TDS, build the ballroom.
Yep.
That's a Democrat.
Hi. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Senator. Hey, Vic and Ken, it's good to see you. Good to hear you. Good to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Good morning, all freedom-fighting patriot Vic heads. Whoosh, my brothers and sisters.
Whoosh.
Duke always wishes a whoosh. Wishes a whoosh to all our brothers and sisters. For just 15 cents a day, you can donate to the Make-A-Whoosh Foundation for a child that has no whooshes.
Whoosh.
Every child should have a whoosh.
And we give them every day.
We do.
So,
good morning. Oh, I did that one. Allison, spot on. No Dems, no violence. It's just that easy. Tony Kinnett was on Mike's show this morning. Said he could not say you're the best because Vic will get jealous. I said that on the morning show. That's incredible. Now it's definitely time. Remove Thune, eliminate the filibuster, pass the Save America Act, and codify the executive orders. Please, right now, do it. Fund Homeland Security and build the ballroom. Thank you, Allison. It's time for the
that part right there, Vic, the codifying of the EOs, that's the most important thing right now.
Now let's do it.
But they won't. They need to. That's the main thing right now.
Ed Storch says offense.
Yeah.
Offense.
Yes.
To use the WWF line, it's time for SmackDown. Because I can't say the other one. You know that, right?
Screw your freedom.
I can't say, let's get ready to,
Rumble. You can say Rumble. You just can't do it the way he does it.
I almost just did.
I said Rumble. That's all I said.
You're talking about Rumble.com.
Right.
I'm there for you. I'll be your lawyer. Not long after this incident happened and my disgust calmed, I thought, can't wait to hear what Vic, Ken, and their guests and us chatters had to say. Thanks, man.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing and seeing everything that you guys are talking about.
And I'm humbled that you give a stuff about what I have to say. So thank you. Allison, there's no shortage of the left rhetoric for a call to violence. President Trump needs to sue every slanderous whack job to hit them in the wallet and make them apologize. Now, that's something you can do, is sue somebody for defamation. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't.
I believe that's the key. I do. Just make the money talk. Take the money away from them. That's it. Only thing you can do and still protect the First Amendment.
Are you stupid? You're a stupid person.
I know. I already know that. Thank you. Ken, Cole was educated but not smart. That's fair to say. Educated but not smart. He's book smart, not street smart. That makes sense?
You could be an intelligent person, have intelligence, but at the same time be malleable.
Exactly right. PMS says, all I've been hearing about the assassination attempt from the left is that it's either a fake attempt or it was to secure that the ballroom gets finished for security reasons. Here's the thing, and I think it's just an unselfish gesture. This ballroom won't be finished until he's out of office, so he won't even get to enjoy it. But President's future will.
But it goes. This is the same thing that when he talks about what he wants to live for. He's not doing all this for himself.
Right.
He's doing it so that they can have an America that we're proud of.
I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live.
Thank you, Mr. President. We want you to live too because we like you. Our resident Democrat says it's Trump's fault. I don't know who the resident Democrat is. It might be one of the people we know that's in the chat box. I don't
know what? And just kiss my butt.
Yes.
Okay, it has nothing to do. This is not Trump's fault, period.
And it's not staged, so cut that out too. Republicans won't do anything to the Dems about their spewing the hate against President Trump. If investigated, nothing will happen. Boy, isn't that true? Indoctrination, dog whistle, action, sad. Every law enforcement officer should have a bulletproof vest. That's why Michael Letts was put on this earth. George Stephanopoulos will never give credit to President Trump no matter what he does. He could cure cancer. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Michael Letts is who I'm talking about. InvestUSA.org. That's how you can donate money to get bulletproof vests to law enforcement. And first responders and, FBI guys and Secret Service. George Stephan, Trump stays up till 3 a.m. calling fake media, seeing if they were okay. Biden never called Gold Star families.
See, that's what Vic had.
This president will call the enemy, the media, the enemy.
Yeah.
But Biden wouldn't call Gold Star families because Trump calls Gold Star families, and he calls Republicans or Democrats who are congresspeople.
That makes me mad.
I'm convinced that the only reason for these oversight committees are for clicks on their social media pages, clickbait. That's the word I was trying to think of before when we were talking about that idiot. They never get anything done and never hold anyone accountable. Jimmy Kimmel's statement that Melania was glowing like a expectant widow moments before assassination showed up was disgusting. Fire him. By the way, we only have one more month to have to go through Stephen Colbert, and he's gone. One more month, Ken. That's it.
I don't know how, in this country, in today's world, that a talk show host can get away with saying something like that.
Yeah. I read in the Post-Dispatch, so you don't have to. Aisha Sultan has a column titled, "Who is More Likely to Fall for Fake News?" in which she quotes CNN. Oh, the irony. I think the story about the liberal journalist grabbing bottles of wine and champagne right after the assassination attempt was interesting. The same people that were criticizing Hegseth. Did you see them stealing wine?
Oh, yeah. I saw the videos. They had multiple videos of these people. And just so everybody understands what we're talking about here, there are videos after the event, everybody was leaving, and then all these press people were just grabbing bottles off the tables.
And that one lady, you never see her face, but I think she's drunk already. And I always say that because when she grabbed the bottle,
she was like,
she opened her hand real wide, like, how close am I? And then,
yeah, you're right, Vic. Another tell.
Wrong. It could be a tell. You just never know. To understand the difference between dog and cats, remember, dogs think you are God. Cats know they are God.
Right. That is true. That's the difference.
All I have to say is brr, 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 brr. What's the difference between God and liberals? God doesn't think he's a liberal. Ah! How would the libturds respond if one of theirs were taken out the way they go after Donald Trump? I miss when libturds were tree huggers instead of... I can't say the word. I'll just whisper it so nobody hears me.
No? I don't know. I don't know what the word is.
It's the R word. No? Okay. They've turned our country upside down with the indoctrination that begins in public schools. Absolutely. And this guy might have been indoctrinated. He's only 31 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
He probably got indoctrinated, grew up, and now he's a teacher, probably telling kids about porn.
Well, actually, if you think about it, that's about the right time when President Trump took office. He was in college probably,
Yep. They are not educators. They are propagandists. No baggage checks on trains. It's really crazy, but it's true. Build the ballroom. Beansy, where you been? Keep standing and fighting, guys. We're so lucky to have conservative media like NewstalkSTL. Good job, Kenny. No, it was okay. It wasn't great, okay? It was fine.
Well, thank you.
Fight. It was great. I have felt from the beginning he had inside help that is now hiding. The gunman, is that what he's talking about? You think that. You think it was more than one person.
Well, it's just that it's so many elements there that one person really couldn't have done because the information he had to get in there at the time he did, it was just weird.
You think it was inside information?
You would
think.
Job.
That's what you think. And we stop all this right to due process when it's on camera, etc., straight to jail. I would take the train from D.C. to Quantico, USMC base, and would get off and walk to my daughter's house on base. No security. That's not good. They all have had inside help, and we are none the wiser. Oh, boy. A lot of these guys have not thrown up any flags until they do. Yes, if he was vetted, they would have asked why he was even there. In fact, all people staying there should show why they are there.
Yeah.
With all the money floating around, there was plenty of reason to lock the whole hotel down for attendees only, no one else.
Well, we know one thing for sure, everybody. That's the last time there's going to be an event there.
That's right. There just seems like there are still a lot of lapses in his security detail and those that are supposed to head off this type of situation. I could not agree more. Also, they should also check all employees for any connections to this dude. How about that, Ken?
Yeah.
That would be your inside story right there.
Yep.
These things are always deeper than they let out. The indictments of the Southern Poverty Law Center are just against the organization. No names have been issued. That's what we want. Names, indictments, perp walks. Let's go. Lunettes, where you been? Fox is reporting that the First Lady is requesting ABC take a stand on Kimmel's hateful rhetoric, evil and violent content. And they'll never do it, but I completely agree.
Bad llama.
I agree the lying on media needs to stop. Not since Barry Soetoro, who's that, Barry Soetoro?
Yeah, that's Obama.
Signed the propaganda amendment in 2014. Well, we got to look that up.
The Smith-Munn Act, I think they're talking about.
Oh, is that what that is?
I think they're talking about that, yeah. I think so.
We need that back. Why was Alex Jones taken down and fined $1 billion? Free speech. The caller's right. Take him down. Back in the early 2000s, Laura Bush came to Maplewood High School to talk about the No Child Left Behind program. The amount of vetting that went on for the First Lady was staggering. Southern Poverty Law Center is worse than Alex Jones. Left is immune? Nope. But, I know I felt the butt coming on. The police department and fire department were vetted along with the high school teachers and administrators. Children's parents, just for the First Lady.
Well, see, I agree with Joe, that the caller that we had earlier, that they need to find a way to at least shut down the activities until they figure out what's going on with the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Everybody stop. Let's figure this out.
Right.
And then go.
No more activities, no more money moving around anywhere.
Completely agree with that. And I got the information that from the head of the St. Louis Secret Service while we were outside of the high school shooting. What's happened to Trump is unprecedented and ridiculous. They had a helicopter circling the high school while she was there. Is Trump getting the same treatment? Not in Pennsylvania. Tarloff is a necessary evil. I want to hear from her. I don't want to be blindsided, but it's the vocal fry. I just can't stand it anymore.
I saw a meme where we had all the presidents that have been shot and killed and are shot at. I want to know how many of them we had been shot at 3 times now or attempted to be killed.
And I believe the meme we're talking about, caption is all shot by liberals.
Oh, yeah, every one of them. Democrats, yeah.
The left is happy to tell you how they feel and what they want to do. So listen, when are we going to get ahead of them? Oh, come on, Ken, really?
Yeah.
How did that happen? We started so early.
I know.
All right. Sorry, guys. Me out of here! Wait for the grievances to come flying in. Thank you so much for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Somebody wants to know if Michael Lutz is related to Brett Hume.
Shut up.
You bet.
Shut your face.
Jimmy's next.
Whoosh.
Newstalk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Bunny Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airways for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Bunny Radio every weekend on Newstalk STL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeBunnyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
With all of the celebrations, anniversaries, and holidays coming up over the next few months, where are you going to go to get that special something for the special people in your life? Newsteaders Fine Jewelers, of course. Newsteaders Fine Jewelers found 24/7 at wowdiamonds.com. Tim Jones here to tell you all about Newsteaders Fine Jewelers. Richard Newsteader and his team serving our region since 1961 with awesome, honest jewelry solutions. They've got everything from diamonds to wedding engagement rings, hand-engraved items, pendants, earrings, and so much more. You can find them 24/7, wowdiamonds.com. That's Newsteaders Fine Jewelers, wowdiamonds.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green.
This is Newstalk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at
NewstalkSTL.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. Investigators have plenty to work with as they piece together the background of the suspect in Saturday's shooting outside a Washington hotel ballroom where the White House correspondents' dinner was taking place.
Authorities uncovered what had been described as numerous anti-Trump social media posts linked to the suspect, Cole Thomas Allen, a 31-year-old tutor and amateur video game developer from California. The suspect was taken into custody at the dinner